Okay, so yeah, we're back in the insanity that is where we left you guys. Because what you did last time was
Was
you went
fighting
for
for
tea, and then things went bad.
eh,
Um,
bad.
so,
Very big understatement right there. You probably won the award for this year.
well, this is I'm very British, so generally we have a lovely little tea time, and then the existential horror starts to creep out in the areas around. So.
Yeah, that really gets to explain why I play so many games with British people in it, and then Cthulhu happens after tea.
Yes. But yeah,
It does.
so last thing we left off with Kara. Kara was in a room alone with a very frail old man with a
Pregnant.
very heavily pregnant stomach.
Very healthy baby, I recall, as well, which I don't like.
Right.
Yes.
Parasite gods are healthy, right, in their own way.
And Quinton was being led back to the gardens in order to meet up with Justice, and Justice was being led down towards the basement last time we left off.
Of all things. Oh, I was. I didn't even know that. That's gonna be fun.
Yes, so we're starting off with you actually, because we finished with the others. So
Before we get going, just for the sake of me knowing where we all are and how everything's going on, he mentioned that his kids have unearthed some of his old equipment. Was that in the basement, did he say?
Yes.
yes.
He said it was in the basement.
Goody!
All the wards that have been disturbed that he forgot were there were, in the basement. Oh, by the way, guys, if I have trouble remembering anything, after the treatment that cured me, my mind kind of reset, and I had this ability to recall any information. Now I just can't use it as well, so I might just forget entire swaths of people, things we talked about, conversations, everything.
Yeah, that's
I do
just.
write a lot of stuff down, so that's actually what I'm doing now, is clarifying for my note.
Trust me, you usually want to make notes in my... Part of the reason why I recorded everything is that I tend to go off on multiple different, fractures where you guys can explore just about anything. Like, you can fool around with just about anything. But then then you wind up with a situation where it's like, what was this guy's name? I don't goddamn remember.
Why do I feel like
something
Hang on a sec. Hang on.
Go ahead.
Oh, you first.
Yeah, that's why I write down 3 things always: names, levels, anything class stuff in general, and places. I was like, oh, that name, that's right.
Yeah, you guys are going to have an echo in the beginning of this video now as well, because I forgot that I usually plug my headphones in for this, so you guys are all going to have a bit of an echo. But yes, into the game. So yes, you were being led along by Atella. Atella de Sit was leading you, and I believe the Dr. Easy.
The blacksmith, Mr. Smithson,
Yeah.
Dr. Easy. No one else was there.
No, Tennant was not coming with you.
Yeah, Tennant was waiting for what's her name? Gosh, I wrote it down. Hang on.
Are we talking about the bard?
No. The bard wasn't there. The young lady, her sister. I know how it starts.
Atella and Melina?
Yes.
Melina, yes. I can't ever remember her name for some reason.
She is under nobles. You should be able to.
Oh. Yeah, I see it now. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so yes, I'm going down there with her.
It's right there.
Dr.
Sorry.
It's alright.
Dr. Easy.
And by the way, Smithson has just popped up on your screen.
Cool looking. I like him.
He's yes, this is
Got
the gentleman.
a blacksmith glove on. Neat.
Yeah. He is
That beard's gonna get caught though.
Well, it shows that he's not really one who sits doing the smithing much these days. He's the head of the guild. He doesn't have time to make his own stuff.
If your hair's not singed, you're not doing blacksmithing.
But yeah, so you are being led along right behind Atella de Sit, as she leads you towards the basement, which...
so we're going down some steps.
You're heading down some steps, and she's picked up a lantern, of just like a... It's rather surprising, really. We found the basement a little while back. It had such a perfect place for me to perform such activities, really.
I would. Well, that's a very vague word, but I was thinking maybe operation. So you do things down here? Like, this is really, huh?
It's
When we do it.
Well, it's mostly my father's old tools. I'm not really sure what he did with them. I was away studying at the time, but a few years ago he seemed to acquire some interest. But my sister believes perhaps he knew he was going to start getting ill. We're not entirely sure.
That makes sense. If he started studying how some medicine, maybe some magic to figure out a way to cure himself. Probably why we need to be here specifically.
There is
so he does surgery.
There's like a flicker over her face when you talk about medicine. She's quite a stone-faced woman in front of others, but you notice that little flicker of... You're not quite sure if it's worry or amusement.
I look at her curiously, like openly, like tilt my head to the side, look at her from a 40-degree angle, widen my eyes, open my eyebrows.
Oh, well,
What did he do down here?
Well, he more had just instruments. I suppose some of them fall under Mr. Easy's, Dr. Easy. Mr. Easy's.
I was about to say, Miss Doctor, you might enjoy yourself down here. Freaking don't cuddle anything, please.
You cannot tell me what to do.
You say that. You say that. I can tell you what to do, and if you don't do it, and then I literally place my hand against the wall and just scratch my nails down the stone, and they just come off. Like the stone just comes off.
Okay. And then Melina.
He's like, okay.
Melina just gives you a bit of a frown of like, please do not destroy our masonry.
Destroy all the masonry.
My friend has a thing about masonry. It makes your... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
If you are to use such things as an example, please ask for one, and we shall retain one.
Oh, I didn't want to break his arm in 3 places, so don't worry about it. Let's go take care of this. I want to figure out what is going on.
She gives a nod, and she comes downstairs. Like, Father's... Yeah, said... It seemed it was just adequate, and she opens a door. Beyond it... Like, you can almost smell what a torture chamber used to smell like. It's one of those things, if you clean up a torture chamber, it's a surprisingly adequate surgery. There are multiple different instruments around the area, some of which hold quite a resemblance to similar ones you saw in Easy's office a while back.
So I'm a practitioner of medicine, and I have the understanding gift, instead of perfect understanding. So I know a little bit about theurgy and magic in general, lesser magic.
Yeah.
And I kind of get that medicine isn't really done here. I'm guessing, right?
There seems to have been some things moved in that indicate that someone has been using it a bit more for medicine of late. And
then I understand that. Out of all the things I know, the Cinnabar Order, the people, the Theotechnicians, the Mind Walkers, this doesn't look like any of them. So my immediate thought goes to, does your father practice theurgy?
She gives a small shrug in response of, I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, I didn't really follow my father's steps at those times. Perhaps Mr. Easy can look and tell you what there is in the area around here.
Dr. Easy's what would you call it again? A theologist?
Yes, theurgist is the preferred.
Yeah, theurgist, which isn't exactly theurgy, which is slightly different, right?
It varies. We all have our little uses, so to say.
Fair enough. I thought the difference between magic and sorcery and divinity were slightly different, but it makes sense.
No,
it's just curious to think about.
It is,
I don't think this room was... Yes.
Well, you see certain aspects, of similarities between them. It's all generally energy influence and just the larger amounts, so to say, and more unstable amounts. He says, while looking directly at you.
I laugh a little bit too,
Yeah.
like an unstable bad woman.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And looking around, it looks like no one used this for any type of magic I am aware of, or medicine, or much surgery or medicine. It looks almost as if someone, I don't know, vivisected live bodies to pull a variety of instruments and organs to, I don't know, create some kind of monstrous, deificated horror. Oh well, can I get the thing out of me now?
She does pause and Mom, well, I understand that you are one of the mistresses of this place. I do suggest that you don't begin insinuating that someone's father took part in such terrible experiments, at just a glance.
Well, if it wasn't him, who was it?
I would just say
Anyway.
that perhaps to suggest that you don't start to accuse someone whose help you seek of having.
I didn't say anyone. I didn't say he did it. I just said someone did it down here. Who knows? Maybe you guys bought it from a different person. Either way, I don't mind. Things happen, and they will inevitably be dealt with by karma or time or a person in general. It's old. You can tell it's old. There's something happened here a long time ago, as far as I'm aware, and I'm not a time traveler yet. So, perhaps we can move on with the surgery. I don't mind what your father does or does not do. I'm here to help him and get help myself.
That is good to hear, Mom.
So do I hop up on this table or that one?
I would suggest this one. You are proportionally much smaller, so this one is more fitting. And she waves to the
the variety of vivisection tables with the clamps and everything.
It's got to fit. We do have anesthetic available if you desire.
No, I say as I'm climbing up. Preferably not. I say taking my hat off and my veil and shucking off my gloves.
Okay.
I do have a request though.
What would that be?
If you find at any point that you find something resisting and you do not think it would kill a normal human being, perhaps something much more resilient, like a giant or some other magical creature that I'm sure exists somewhere, would you continue as if you were operating on them? I know it might seem strange.
You wish me to continue in knowledge of your natural resistances?
Yes, I didn't want to put it like that, but yes. Thank you.
Yeah, it is understandable. It is good to be frank, but yes, we shall continue in this manner. And she nods.
Dr. May you stand in the corner, please? And Dr. Smithson, I need you close. Please, Easy, do not touch my insides. For the love of God, I do not know where your hands have been.
Easy's kind of already in a corner, squinting a little at one of the instruments.
He's fine.
Yeah.
It's alright. Don't worry about it.
I dislike blood. Don't worry, I'm not interested in going over to you. I told you this before.
Wait. I don't bleed. What are you talking about?
I
know that.
And I told you that may not be the case when this is removed.
Oh. I say, leaning back. Alright. Hit me with a knife. In fact, I hand her a scalpel.
There's a moment of Smithson goes, "Do you really need me here? I'm not much."
Well, we need you to take the instrument. We need you to take the instrument almost immediately as it's removed, and we'll get the fire started after that. I know that you may not want to be here, but if you don't mind staying around or at least in the vicinity.
I'll stay. You called me doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm used to hitting stuff with hammers. And while that may work with you, no.
Hey, I could make amazing medical advances with hammers. You never know.
I'm sure you could, Mom.
No, I'm saying, in an advance. If you're specialized enough, I'm sure you could do something, sir. You don't have to get down on yourself.
Yeah.
But I understand that if you're bothered by this, you don't have to look. You don't have to watch. In fact, you can read a book. I just would like you to be here if you can.
I'll be around, he says.
Thank
You notice that Atella hasn't really changed out of her dress. Her,
well, neither have I.
Yeah. it's that's the thing though. Like she's a prim and proper lady, and she's not exactly in the black dress you see there on the screen. She's kind of dressed a little more demurely for like this is her party dress. This is more like a grey and white tunic that she'd worn, but now you see that she's donned an apron. That she's pulling over a few items on a tray and like nods and Now, do you wish for leather? And she pulls up a mouth strap, the kind that they put in the patient's mouth in order to stop them from biting down on their own tongues while operation. It's like leather or cloth.
So I have a question for you, Hog, out of character.
Yeah.
Would Sade know how much pain she could deal with her 18 constitution and all that, and her excellence of the word?
She probably doesn't. She probably doesn't know exactly how much, but she knows a lot.
Yeah, and she has the medical knowledge to know whether or not she'll swallow her own tongue or scream in general. You think?
Yeah, you definitely saw that when you were working in the hospital for a bit. So, and for your little time with Daisy kind of instructing you, that would have probably been one of the first things of you need to make sure that they don't swallow their own tongue or like bite it off.
Or choke or something.
Yeah, yeah. So,
so the question is, rather, would Sade know whether or not she needs one, or as an act of pride, not take one?
You're not entirely sure if you need one or not. Like, you remember how bad it was when you tried pulling it out before.
That hurt like a bitch.
So,
alright, so I'm like, Leatherface.
She nods, and you see her kind of dusting it a little bit to make sure it's nice and clean, wipes it, and then pops it carefully in your mouth. And you see as she very daintily picks up some very sharp-looking objects and turns to you and like, would you like me to begin? Are you ready?
I don't. Nod.
Very well then. Let us begin.
Cut me.
So yes, I'm going to make a roll for her as a general, just to see how good she's going to be.
Yeet attack. What is that? Why am I scrolled all the way up?
That was someone throwing a halberd?
That's me throwing my halberd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was literally like 4.
Let's see. I don't really. This is the thing. I don't really want to be like, oh yes, attack, because it's not an attack. It's just how good
roll,
she's doing.
Roll like a d20 and give her a +6.
Yeah.
And if she rolls over, I don't know, 10, she works. You know?
We'll see. Yeah. So.
It's in it's a 20. There are complications.
Yeah. Okay, so she cuts cleanly into you, but I do want you to remove a single hit point.
That's fair. I mean, technically. Yeah.
She is
pretty good at that knife, considering.
She's had quite a bit of training, so she's carefully cutting into you, and as she's still continuously speaking, ever so gently, it's yes, we had. I've had a while away from the family up in Mural.
Just mocking.
No, she's she's just like having a bit of a chat and discussing with you. I don't believe we met at the party. It was a fine one. I believe my sister had the luck to meet you in such a place, and she's like, humming ever so slightly as she's cutting you open. Like, it was a fine party, and we're all so glad that Franklin is still with us. There was a bit of a rumor going around that he was to be and she like raises her hands, and you notice she doesn't have gloves on. She's using her bare hands, and she does the air quotes of he was going to be appeasing some of the sins of the past, so to say, and she continues working along.
So I feel like, mumble in my mouth. And I'm like tilting my head, like Kara.
Yeah. So. Quentin,
yes.
You are able to know the location of all important people, and so you could probably easily find Sade. So around this time, like after a little bit of working. I'm going to make another roll, but around the time of the second roll, another 1 hit point, please.
Oh yeah, sexy.
You are basically able to see the entrance down to the basement, and so. But of course, Melina doesn't know they're down there, so she's heading straight towards the gardens where she thinks they still are.
Miss, what's down here? And I point down the basement.
Oh, it's Father's old workshop down there.
And what kind of work was your father doing?
I'm afraid I don't really know. I was away for a little while, you see. He sent us both away to study, and by the time we both returned, he was becoming deathly ill. He never really spoke about those down there. He did tell us to keep away from the basement, but we could not help but return there. After all, we had such interest in what he did, but I'm afraid we really could not make heads or tail of it. We do know that occasionally the church would come and question. We fear that was why they wanted access to Father. They wanted to see into the basement as well. Of course, we denied any access, and unfortunately he is in this current state at the moment. Do you think that Father will recover?
Hopefully so, but would you mind if I go down and take a look?
She pauses and is there much reason? I thought you wanted to go and get your friend.
Yes, well, let's just say that I believe my friends might be in the basement.
Yes. Of course. Let us go down. You should have said so earlier, sir. I thought they were still outside. And she leads you towards the basement. Do you wish me to come with you? It seems like she's a little worried about going downstairs.
I think I'll be fine on my own if you are reluctant to join.
Oh, I am not reluctant, sir. That is a lie. She is very reluctant.
Bam.
Yeah. So, I must attend to to Lord Tennant. He must obviously be alone out there at the moment. If you'll excuse me, and she.
If you would be so kind, and then.
Yeah. She steps away and leaves you at the door to the basement.
Yep. I go down towards the door and listens for anything, if there is anything wrong or.
I mean, there's probably a muffled noise because a teller is still talking. You can hear talking, and you can hear the in response, as if someone has a gag in their mouth.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Is that a one?
Yes.
Hey, I died.
Oh. Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, that is.
I'm just going to assume this is the surgical equivalent of when you're very carefully opening a package and all of a sudden the whole thing just rips open.
And everything falls out, and you got packing peanuts and freaking styrofoam everywhere.
Okay, so.
Just fucking.
But yeah, I'm not hearing anything, especially so I just
Well, I mean,
poke my head.
yeah.
I poke my head through the door, basically.
Okay, you do that just in time for there to be a small oops noise as a teller seems to. It's the thing is you don't feel like you've really been it's not like there is a moment of bleh everywhere, but there is suddenly a spout of blood that just goes all over her apron from the stomach, and there's a pause. Thought you said you didn't bleed, ma'am. And you just see her standing there, above. Yeah.
Then I point at Easy.
With Easy isn't even looking your direction. So you see that they're all standing around her, and Sage is being operated on, and there's quite a bit of blood. It's just like, Yes, this. Oh, hello.
I'm like looking at it with like very wide eyes of like, what have I walked into?
She kind of
thing, like...
she smiles and she raises up and
It's supposed to be there.
she pushes some hair back from her face, and you see that she's like she had some blood on her hands, and she's managed to like smear a bit on her cheek, and she gives you a small smile as you kind of look through and say, hello, Lord Dustdale. Will you be joining us?
Well, I was looking for Justice, but it appears she is very preoccupied.
Yes. Did you need Justice for anything?
I basically just need a quick answer to a question. And now out of character here. We were fighting Sade because we believe she could cure the guy. Or what were we looking for?
I don't know. You just said.
Mostly it's because he had medical knowledge and can actually diagnose and figure out what's going on more specifically and more exactingly than he's got a pregnant, healthy baby. And more importantly, she has managed to physically cure him if needed.
Yeah, not only the thing with curing like magical.
Warn him. Yeah, not only that, but it's probably kind of important to warn her that she might have been given birth by a fucking elder god sorcerer.
Yeah, I think the thing we wanted to know was if if Justice possessed the power to cure magically induced curses and all sicknesses.
I believe she has the power to do both. Yes.
Yeah. Not curses, only sicknesses.
Oh, sicknesses. Yeah.
I believe I can lift curses too. I'm not sure. It's some kind of thing.
Because that's curse eaters.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
But yeah,
can infest by magical diseases and even some of those dire sicknesses that cannot be cured, etc.
But yeah, so
okay.
She pauses a little and is like, perhaps if you will take a seat for a moment, I won't be done long. I'm afraid the main issue is that I apologize for saying so, Mom, but you're rather active when you're awake. And she like indicates the wound. It's like your insides are still doing loops around my scalpel.
Oh, I look at that. What, really? What is going on? I'm looking into it now. Like, I'm leaning forward, like, what the fuck?
She puts a bloody hand on your forehead and pushes your head back down. Like, please, it will displace my cutting.
So like, I wave my hand, like, and then I give her a thumbs up, like, go ahead, hit me with the innocent.
So she kind of pulls out a quite large needle and then turns to Quentin again. It's like, would you be joining us?
I mean, if she can, before we induce the anesthetics, if she can answer the question real quick, that would be answer a simple question. That would be very delightful.
Yeah.
Justice, you wouldn't happen to have any powers relating to curing magical diseases or curses alike, as we're currently facing a old pregnant man who is resistant to some divine powers.
I give him like a thumbs up, and then I wave my hand back and forth like so, and then I make a circle with my finger, like, and then point back at me, and then like make a question mark with my fingers or try to, and then shrug, then give you another thumb. And then I take the thing out of my mouth. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Mostly.
Right. Well, when you're done here and can walk again, please do come find us in the bed chambers.
Okay.
You hear a faint moment of pregnant over from
Wait,
Easy.
You said that out loud? You didn't use your mind gift thing?
No, I said it out loud.
So yeah, Easy goes pregnant.
Well, that's only what I've been told. I'm not sure.
I see. Could I borrow you for a moment, Quentin? I need Justice is a little busy.
Well, sure. If you join me outside, that would be great.
No, I need you here.
Here?
Yeah, he's like indicating like as subtly as possible, which isn't very subtle. Something he's standing in front of. It's like just here. It's like an instrument you can see. It looks pretty nasty.
I walk in, and I'm doing this. So like I haven't opened the door ever, but I'm just walking into the room.
Yeah.
Walking over to him and just like, what?
Well, this item I see in front of me. It's I can't be certain what it is, but I think I know what it does, and I'd like your permission to test it.
Will I be harmed in the... What? Just describe it to me.
Well, he's trying to ignore the sounds of operation going on in the background because that is still like the cutting, and it's getting harder like as he goes along. But yeah, so he's kind of ignoring the cutting as much as possible. It's like, oh god. Take another 2 damage.
I'll cut you.
Mm. But he's kind of standing there. You see, this is theurgy. It's all about, well, there's certain aspects of one's soul, like as if the power of one's soul, and the power of a God's soul and certain people's soul is a lot more, a lot stronger than others. Like I myself am, comparatively weak compared to a lot of high level, members with as many drives, like Mr. Smithson over here. And like nods at Mr. Smithson, who is standing by, watching on dutifully. And it's like he is an expert at his craft, and he is well known. He is no doubt got quite the strong soul for a mortal, of course. For myself, I'm quite weak, but for a god's soul, for the soul of someone who is blessed with theurgist powers, there is something more to them, and I believe. Like he glances back over his shoulder and then grimaces a little at the sight and turns back to you and says, that this is capable of slightly withdrawing some of the power. And I believe it also can transfer it into something else. I could attempt to do it and then transfer it right back into you.
So what you're saying is this is basically a empty battery for power.
It's not so much of a battery because we don't know what batteries are.
You're telling me this is like an empty jug of water?
Yes, somewhat, but the machine is very sensitive. You can see here, and he indicates like it looks like a silver-laced container right in the middle, but it's got corrosion on it. It obviously, if it attempts to contain something that is meant to be in a god for too long a time, then it will corrode. You could perhaps make a better version of this, something that could last longer, but that would require most likely a god to make, as this is a human attempted to extract the power of something like a god. Effectively, mechanically, it would pull an effort from you. And it could be used to transplant the effort into something else.
Interesting. Well, so...
I'm not entirely certain. It just seems like this... it's a theoretical paper I read years ago. Someone suggesting something like this, I believe they got accused of heresy. I mean, quite easy to see why with the church back then. But yes, it seems just I don't know why it's down here.
Incidentally, we should probably make a note of whoever wrote that paper and hunt them down.
Oh, good.
And, yeah, murder them. I mean, damn it.
Let's see here. Just completely thinking out loud here. So we got this thing that can pull power from one thing and put it into another thing. So what we could do with it is take power from the monster baby, give it to us, or are we thinking the other way around here?
I don't know if we should. I don't want any of that up in my life.
No, exactly.
If there was a way to just take it out and put it aside, that would be nice, but I guess we don't have that option present.
Well, Dr. Easy, what would happen if you stored things in it for a long period of time and the thing, as you said, eroded? What would happen to the things inside it?
Oh, as you pull it out, it would likely cause an explosion, but not the kind of explosion that that is like if they are hollowing out the mountains up north. No, I mean the kind of explosion as if the world becomes infected with the energy. It's quite destructive for the human body, you see. If it's not trained, if it's not designed to.
So, in short, what I'm getting is what's happened to Mr. de Sit, only on a grander scale. So let's not do that.
It would be quite destructive. It also may be affected by what you draw it from. If we drew it from yourself, people may become blind, as you have a great tunity with sight and darkness. People may lose tangibility. We may find people falling through the earth itself.
My question here is, would it be possible to withdraw power from a thing and effectively destroy the withdrawn power?
Once power is drawn, you cannot destroy it. It can be transferred, it can be utilized, but it would also...
Damn you, laws of thermodynamics!
Curse you, energy conservation dynamics!
Why don't we have a Godbound of entropy here?
Theodynamics.
I just want to break things!
Theodynamics.
Just have entropy,
thank you very much.
Destroy it that way.
Theodynamics,
I
thank
don't
you
know.
very much.
Stop me. I'm just thinking out loud here. I wonder if the best thing to do for the moment is just pour all our gifts into slowing down the hideous inevitable end here until we can come up with an actionable solution.
You know what we should do is ask questions.
That as
what
well,
we
yeah.
should do.
Now, Mr. Easy, if we were to inject this power into divine artifacts, what would happen?
It would have to be created by a god to even withstand it, and even then, most artifacts are created to certain specific builds. If you attempted to do it into, say, the sword, and he indicates to the sword, and so if you attempted to inject it into that, it would eventually start eroding. You may get a more powerful item, but it would eventually start destroying itself, as there is more energy than it is built to withstand.
Now, purely hypothetical here, if you were to, let's say there's a powerful being and you want to empty out its power source without injecting it into other people, how would one do so?
He pauses and like, sir, I hesitate to discuss such a thing, as it may be seen as a betrayal of yourself or your partners.
Well, I would not see it as betrayal. I'm not sure what my partners would think of it, but if it stays between the two of us...
I think I may have to... Like, he takes a little bit of a step away. He doesn't know, so you can read his expression and his thoughts on this so easily. He is kind of wondering if you're thinking of draining your allies.
That is. I was just thinking how much like that sounds.
Yeah, very
You know what's
much.
crazy? Would Quentin do that?
No.
It's he pauses like I'm afraid I cannot really discuss such a thing. If as you said, entirely theoretical, it would be almost impossible. For some items, for some gods, the very fact that the energy that was drained would be released would mean that they would return. There are some records of spirits from the great forests that have been slain by mortal hands innumerable times, and yet always returned. And it is always considered the same one, as often they return for vengeance. And he pauses and remembers Kara. It's like,
I hold the thing up just a moment, and then Kara, would it be a good idea to bring in Dr. Easy to give his opinion on what to do?
If I remember correctly, you can't talk to Kara through that ward.
I am trying anyways.
I believe the conversation could. He couldn't walk
just
through the walls.
teleport in.
Yeah, he couldn't teleport or walk through the walls, but the conversation
I
moved
believe
through.
there was interference, or
Yeah.
did I make that up?
I think
Oh, no,
there's
there was.
there's slight interference, but it's not as much as like the walking through the walls that was entirely blocked.
Yeah.
I've been left alone with this dude, and all of a sudden, do I think it would be a good idea to bring Dr. Easy in? And Kara will just sort of, like, yes, I suppose. Why? What does he do?
He might have.
Yeah, she missed all that, so he's just a
Yeah.
guy as far as she's concerned.
He might have some knowledge on what we could do.
Can he slay it?
That doesn't slay it.
No. If you think it's a good idea, bring him in.
Well, Dr. Easy, you're coming with me.
Should
If
we?
you wouldn't mind.
Should we wait for indicating over his shoulder? And
Yes, please, dear God, yes.
Yes, why not?
It'll be
I just hear in the
fine.
background.
Don't worry
Yes,
about
dear God, yes.
Don't worry about the TPK, guys.
This will be the last roll. Only a single health point will be removed here. As she is finally seems to be pulling free with great effort this hunk of metal that's been resting in your stomach for a while, and
Can't wait for the geyser explosion of blood that comes with it.
she's pulling it free. It's like I will admit I've never done anything quite like this. She said with a nod. It's like, it is true, as we have heard, that we are starting to live in interesting times. And she pauses and then puts it to the looks at the kidney dish, where usually bits are dropped, and then just puts it down heavily on the edge of the table. It's like, now I would like to stitch you up if that is possible. A part of a doctor's time is to repair the damage that they have done.
So Cog, question.
Yeah.
What did that feel like?
Have you ever passed a kidney stone?
Yes. I also once had my appendix almost rupture inside my body.
Imagine basically your appendix almost rupturing, and then instead of popping, you passed a kidney stone.
Oh, okay. So then I just started screaming and screaming and screaming, and then I passed out a little bit for like a few seconds.
Well, you can roll me a constitution to see how much screaming you did.
How much? There's gonna be some, that's for sure.
There's going to be some. Thankfully, the leather strap is there.
So, did you know the shock index, Hog? And to reach the 7th level of the shock index, where you instantly die, to pass out from pain is to go to the 6th indication of shock. Meaning that you will probably die if you feel any more pain than what you do when you pass out. To pass out from pain is like so much pain the body just can't handle it. Your mind can't either. It's fun. I liked it. It was great when I passed out. I was like, oh yeah, that was.
Oh dear.
That was fun. Anyway, Constitution.
Constitution.
Yay!
You succeeded. Okay, so you can scream as much as it helps relieve the pain.
So I literally reach up into the air and like screaming through my teeth, like going, like right when she rips it out, my whole body kind of arches like a fucking contortionist, and I just scream and reach for the sky, and I try to grab the side of the bed and dig my hands in, and it's just like it's already out. Yeah. But I just don't stop for a second, few seconds, 10 seconds, and then after 15 seconds, I finally relax and say,
I do imagine. I do imagine just that moment of, should we wait for, and then, as you as, so yeah, so.
Might give you an indication of how that might have sounded for those of you who have not had a violent life, so I'm going to cover my mic a little bit. Like that.
She's, half cradling it still, because there's not much room on the table, especially as she's had to step back a little bit with the flailing arms. And she does kind of let out a little sigh of, oh, now there's a dent, as you've basically bent part of the table from the sheer force. Like,
what was the question again? So I know, don't worry about it. It gets better overnight.
No. It is my pride as a doctor, please.
Fine, it's not like I'm resisting right now.
Yeah, and she actually pauses and looks up to Smiths and is like, sir, if you could wipe her brow. So you get this very large hand delicately wiping the sweat from your brow kind of thing. And, and that's the thing, you are sweating. You've not done this in a while, but she pauses and like, there is quite a bit of bleeding here. And she like starts to repair up the damage that has been done as much as possible. It's like, I'm certain that you will be fine, as this would have killed most people.
I barely even. I will be fine. Yes. Seth and Smithson. There we go. Can you take the blade part in some? Do you have tongs? Careful not to touch it.
There's a pause, and they both look over at the blade, which Atella has been handling freely.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't have tongs on me, but I can get something, I'm sure. And he looks around a little bit and
then go get tongs.
I'll he pauses like, I will in a moment, Mom. You're
No, not you. Quentin, go get tongs.
It's just you.
Go get some tongs, man. Let's hurry this up.
So, with the facts you have, how does this smell exactly?
Oh, it smells delightful. You know that,
There's no metallic smell at all.
Yeah.
There's no metallic smell at all. It does not smell like copper or iron or anything. What it smells like is fresh basil mixed in with that delicious cooking smell you get when you try to make spaghetti for the first time. You're like, it's like for freshness, you know?
Surgery's making me hungry.
Right?
I mean, I'm in the middle of making cookies. Don't judge me.
It just smells so good, you know? It smells like it makes you hungry because it smells so good. Like a room that has a very hearty Italian meal made it next to it, like the kitchen. Oh, yes. The whole house smells good. It smells like that in here.
Fuck you! I'm ordering food now. Oh crap! Hang on. I almost did that on the recording. That would have been disastrous. Now I have to open a different thing that they can't see.
So yeah, you get all the
the
details of your account information on the internet. That's great.
Yeah, I look around the operation theater to see if there are any tongs.
You do see that Smithson appears to have found an appropriate replacement. Now, I say appropriate. It's more like. Are you aware of like the ye olde women's problems tools?
Oh,
The
yeah.
only one I know of is more like a chainsaw than anything else.
And it's the kind of things that have the word spreaders attached to them.
Oh.
Yes. That you might find, again, you're not sure why this is down here, but it appears to be some kind of midwife's assistant.
Oh, now you sure it's down there.
But, yeah, so he's found some there, and they look...
This is for Sorry, guys. Sorry, Hug. This is for everyone who wants to know what I can do specifically with my magic.
Okay.
I'm sure that Quentin already had that, but I just wouldn't want to for off and Hog.
I have no idea what it is.
But,
You got cookies, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But yeah, the spreaders. They look pretty heavy duty. And he's kind of frowning as he picks them up and gives them a few rather distasteful, like, you know when people pick up like the barbecue tongs and click them together?
Yeah.
Like he's doing that, but it's, quite a bit larger, and yeah, so like clang as he's doing this, and he picks up the sword with some difficulty. It's quite heavy, the end. But yeah, so he picks it up and then goes over towards one of the spare operating tables to place it there. Meanwhile, let's see how well the stitching is going. Lovely.
Did she stitch some evil magic into me? That's the question.
You get an evil demon baby inside you.
Right?
You regain
All
two.
that's gonna happen eventually.
You regain
Right.
2 hit points.
Especially to you, Quentin. Okay.
Yeah, I'm the one that's putting it inside you. But
Oh no, so we all get pregnant except for Kara for some reason. At the end of this.
I don't get pregnant. Other people get pregnant because of me.
Exactly. That's
actually, she's the one that's
exactly.
putting demon babies inside people.
Yeah, exactly. So it just became this kind of like roundabout thing, like what kind of monsters have we become in the search for justice? Anyway, so yes, when he takes the thing and I get stitched, I'm gonna say, easy. What's next?
And he looks around and just immediately looks away again. Like, may I request you get cleaned up before we have a discussion?
I'm already clean. Literally, if he looks back, I will be completely clean.
Like,
I'm always clean.
He does look back again. Like, yes. Next, I think Quentin wanted us to go help your friend. Yes, perhaps we should.
Well, I thought I'd forge my sword first, but you got a point.
Well, the forging will take a while, I'm afraid.
Oh, dang it, easy. Everything's so difficult. It's so contrary to your name.
Look, I was bullied when I was in school. Can we not do that?
Fair enough. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up any bad memories.
It's
Says
just
the fear god.
It's just.
And I'm gonna grab up all my stuff and put it back on my hat and my glove and say, "Can you?" And I offer my hand to the smithson, like, "Can you?"
Who's holding it? No, wait, he put the sword down.
Yeah, he's put that on the table. Like he extends a hand to help you up, and yeah. So he easy turns to Quincy. Like, you were about to say something.
Yes, I mean, I would just like to get going as soon as possible, as I am not quite amused with having left Kara alone with this sick and frail old man.
All right, I'm gonna hand Smithson all my weapon and the end of it, I guess. Well, yeah, to let him figure out what he's going to do to forge it, and then say for him follow up with easy later if we need it. I'm going to thank him very much for his time. I thought it would be more immediate, the forging, but here we are.
I will explain on the way. Don't worry. I'm sure we may be able to get this forged today. Maybe a day or two. Depends. You don't want shoddy work.
Of course. Thank you, by the way. Gosh, what was her name again? Thank you, Attila. I owe you a favor. And I smile.
And she gives a small smile in return. Like, well, as I mentioned to Quentin, you are without a proper surgeon in the hospital. It would be a great position for me.
Oh, Quentin did not tell me that. Well, I can't offer that completely. I have to talk over with my comrades. What would you call it? Compatriots? The Pantheon? I don't know. Well, we'll see. I will definitely keep you in consideration, especially with all that's happened today. You seem to be an excellent surgeon, and I'm sure you can manage a hospital just fine. I must go, apparently. Quentin is giving me that look.
If you're going to see my father, perhaps I should go with you. She, takes off the apron and puts it down. You see that some blood has made it to her dress. And she...
Well, it's your house.
Yes, I unless you know the way back, and she looks at Quentin, rather, meaningfully.
Would I know the way back is the real question here.
You could make me an intelligence check.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, you have a good intelligence, so...
Big bird brain moment.
Yeah, and I don't think I have any advantages.
Well, if there's nothing you can think of, then...
I don't think any of my facts really play in here. Since this is a very specific place.
Yeah, this is very... You're not exactly a dungeon diver in your part-time. So yeah, just roll me intelligence.
0 modifier, let's go.
Hey!
Oh, barely.
Much like the roll, barely remember the way back. But you do remember the way back. You were led there and led back, so,
Yeah, it was designed to confuse even gods, so that makes sense.
Yeah, this
I
is...
should be able to find the way back.
Imagine if any of you... Imagine Kara trying to get the fuck out of there right now.
Running in circles.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll be able to know the way back.
There's an old version of herself that is like, I've been here for years. Go back. Time is fractured.
Oh dear.
I almost kind of want to do that now. Let's go.
Right.
I don't know. I'm fairly sure Kara would just meet an old version of herself and just be like, "Bitch," and then leave. That's it.
I said older, but okay. Gosh.
I
basically have that thing, Adventure Time, the lemon grabs just killing each other.
Oh god.
Right. It's that whole party. It's that whole party question. Like, would you kill or fuck your clone?
Yes.
Aha!
There can be only one.
But yeah, so to avoid that strange encounter,
we're going to definitely ask that question later, though. At least I am.
So she nods, and she seems a little concerned about that, but she does nod and if you do not return by the end of the day, I shall go and get you.
Very well.
Which is probably a bit of a moment of what to you guys.
Said in such a way that suggests, familiarity with having to tell people this.
But this is not the first time she have said this.
Exactly.
It's said in the well, I suppose it would be said in the same way that it's like they had maids, and they still have maids, but sometimes maids get lost and. Yeah,
and they acquire new ones.
They acquire new ones, and
fair enough. Like they never see them again. Somewhere in this fucking building is a pile of bones and a dog.
She must have run away.
That is really well.
It's sometimes. It is that thing where you do wonder if there's something terribly wrong going on in there. And there is. There's something terribly wrong going on in there.
I don't. I just think we just need to do a small operation or bless some guy. I didn't realize there's goddamn god baby going on.
God baby.
Up to find out.
Yay.
I love... Oh yeah, and then you said pregnant. I was like, that's weird.
Oh, and...
Actually, I'm probably too busy screaming, to be honest.
And Dr. Easy, please do bring the thingamajig. Point over to where we were talking.
Oh, he shakes his head. It's quite a large object, and that's very fragile and quite old. I can't move that.
Okay. Well.
Scuppered.
You coming easy?
Yes. And he kind of pauses and looks over at the item. You see his look on his face. Why did they need that? And then he just looks very uncomfortably at Quentin, and then nods and follows after again.
So I was just sort of getting my notes in order, and I just had a moment when my brain shut down slightly, and I'll show you why.
Oh no.
Oh, it's not a terrible thing. It's just I was reading stuff, and then that happened. If you look at the general.
So, hang on, I need to get that on the.
I had a moment of what? Oh yeah.
There we are. It's on recording now. Eggs.
Eggs.
But yeah. So thoughts of the trial? Eggs.
Yeah. Exactly.
I would actually. I'd love it if that's what you did when he got onto the.
Oh, that is actually literally something I was planning for. Give everybody fruit to let them know that if they want anyone to shut up, throw it.
So yeah, you do lead them back. Kara, you have been alone with this man, and he has he has kind of been just mostly still there, and the occasional small movement. Though he does kind of move ever so slightly, his head mostly back and forth, and he like turns to you and is like, "So, what are you?"
Carol will just tilt her head at him and shrug, basically.
He's blind. Remember?
Oh,
so...
I couldn't remember if he was blind or he was just, deliberately getting the worst of the light out of his eyes with masks.
Oh no, I blinded the guy.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yes.
Of course you did. Okay, so...
Oh, wait. You just said, of course you did, to Quentin when he said, I don't like him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just put that out.
You know him.
You know what he's like.
We've met.
Yeah, so in character she'll have forgotten and then remembered. I suppose I'm not entirely certain about a spirit of nature. I think. And that's all she's offering. Because she doesn't know.
He nods slightly and like, "And you will become a god?"
Again, she'll shrug, mostly to herself, and, well, what makes a god, exactly? For my people, the gods are part of the land. So I suppose from that way of looking at it, I suppose you could say I already am. But that's not how it feels to me.
You are almost a god. I can feel it. And
he's watching him very carefully this whole time. I just want to point that out.
Yeah. No, don't worry. I don't think he's like, she's like turning her back on him, like, lounging against the side. So yeah, he leans ever so slightly forward when he says that. I feel it. The potential. The chance. You are almost a god. You are so close. But you are so far at the same time.
For the most part, she's not particularly bothered, surprisingly unbothered by that one way or the other. She's sort of, whatever will be, will be. We can only do what we have the power to do in the moment.
And what do you have the power to do?
She'll not answer him for a bit, and... well, the only good use of power is to use it to do what needs to be done, to right wrongs, to even things out. That I can do.
I see. And how have you evened things out?
Have your daughters told you much of what's been going on in the city these past few years?
I know enough. I know of the church. They were there before I grew sick.
The church that is no more.
I have been told of that. Not my daughters. I cannot face them now. But the maids, they tell me, they whisper hope to me. They say that he will save me, and I tell them every time, there is no saving me.
Whether you can be saved or not, surely you want to see a world where the church is gone. And that is something we can accomplish.
Is that making things balanced? You said you wish to make things even.
Yes,
to exterminate
it would
them.
be.
It is in. Are you sure about that?
I am.
Then perhaps you are not about being even. You are about taking from those what you want.
She's narrowing her eyes at him, even though he can't appreciate it to see. After all the damage they've done, simply putting things back how they were would not be evening anything. At best, that would be a holding pattern.
A holding pattern.
Surely you, of all people, can see that.
A holding pattern is even.
A holding pattern is just delaying a return to bad times.
I do not.
Decisive action will see this done.
I do not disagree. I just think that you do not see that decisive action is not even. Do you feel that you are even? You have imprisoned people, I have heard, awaiting trial. Is that even?
It's not just me who's trying to make things even. We have to listen to everyone who's been hurt by these people.
And do you feel they will be even? Do you think they will be fair? They have been hurt.
I have confidence that they'll make the appropriate choice with what we should do.
He's like, he raises a hand to his mouth and wipes it slightly. He's like, then you are not even. Then you are swayed by people. To be even, you must not listen to the masses. They care for what they want. That is not even. If you care only...
All life has to live, and all life must strive.
They do not
That's
wish...
the natural way of things.
But that is not what they want. They want to consume. They want to eat. They do not want it to be even. They want to get more. Look at this place. He raises an arm. It's meant to be dramatic, but it's so slow and fragile that it's impossible to be quick. So he's just pointing towards the ceiling. Like, this was built on greed. This, and he indicates his stomach, was built on greed. We wanted to be the people to save them. We wanted to be the heroes. I could tell. I knew. This is built on greed, on what man wanted. And this will be the result if you let the people swallow you. You are not making it even. You are making it return stagnant. You must not just let them control.
Was there more at the end there? If you did,
No. He left it there. And
She is by this point clenching her fists.
He's already asked you to kill him, so he's not fucking afraid.
Yeah, I think your long isolation has perhaps addled your thoughts. I respect that you tried to do something. That's all anyone can do. But we are not you, and what we do will work. And you are not done yet.
I was done a long time ago.
That remains to be seen.
You cannot sit here in front of me and give me platitudes. This
is no platitude. I find your lack of imagination rather disappointing.
We...
Didn't Darth Vader...
Yeah.
I started. I didn't. I was thinking. Hang on, that sounds familiar. No, I have to change course immediately. I don't want to be that guy.
You sit there and you think that they will be better this time. You won't be the old gods. You won't be me. You won't see the suffering. You won't make them suffer. You're already bringing suffering. I heard there are people dying already to your hand. Not just yours, the others.
People who've made their choice.
And what of their family? What choices did they make?
We can do our best to make things right for them, but crimes must not be forgiven. That's not how this works.
And your own crimes?
And what crimes are they?
Murder, for one, as you said.
Murder in the pursuit of justice is not a crime.
But it's still murder. Are you giving yourself allowance for murder?
Yes.
Then you think you're above them all. Which you are. You're a god.
It is a gift I'm willing to give many who would fight for justice. This is not purely for us.
And the justice being to murder those who wrong.
When necessary.
And when it is done.
We shall see, won't we?
You know what I mean. When it is done, and you are the last murderers left.
Then perhaps the people will decide what to do with us. We shall see. I don't do this for heroics or for recognition. We do this because it's what has to be done.
You do this because something was taken from you.
Yeah, she has no answer for that. She just waits for him to add on to that if he's going.
Vengeance, talk of vengeance, over and over. I do not know what wronged you. I'm not even sure you know what wronged you. But you are less honorable than you think.
I don't think I've ever once used the word honor at all.
Then why do you even care about what the public thinks?
What's the use of power if you just use it for self-serving and greedy ends, exactly? That's how you end up with the church that's been preying on this.
So, you both rely on the people and their judgment, but hold utter dominion in your own people over those you deem to have wronged.
Only those who have committed such wrongs, not all people.
What if people do not see them as wrongs?
We'll educate them, won't we?
Ah, now we have some problems. People who do not see you as the righteous wrong writer. People who see you as a monster.
That's their judgment to make. They're welcome to try if that's how they feel.
So it comes to violence.
Only if pushed.
And how much is a push for you?
You must think me some kind of bloody-handed monster from the way you're speaking. What have you heard?
I've heard barely anything but what you've said to me.
Well, let's clear one thing up right now. My hands will not be getting bloody with you.
I am the worst monster you could see.
Why?
My confession will wait until your allies have come. If I tell you now, you would bloody your hand immediately. And then things would go wrong.
I have considerably more control than you give me credit for, but I concede that we should all hear what you have to say together. And she'll put for the link there. For God's sake, hurry up!
Ah! I hate this old man. I can't kill him because he keeps telling me to kill him.
I love it though. Don't you like? He makes a lot of good points, but he kind of forgets the context is important.
Oh yeah.
It's also, to a large extent, kind of wasted on Kara.
Oh yeah.
Like her primary, when I do characters, I tend to have like 2 or 3 big bullet points that I absolutely will not waver from unless like extreme circumstances call it into question. And pretty much for her, it's all does not change her mind ever. So yeah, here we are.
I love that.
So yes, you guys can show up soon. Basically, you can show up.
Sure.
Like it won't be much more. Like the conversation seemed to have taken a lot of breathing, a lot of effort from him.
Saying, I go into this room and I see a Skeletor with a pregnant belly.
Before you get there, I'm afraid that Easy is talking to you, which is its own punishment.
I know, right? You said I'm afraid.
Yes. So yeah, Easy is talking to you, explaining what you're going to have to do to get your sword going. So he nods at you slightly. He's like, "Well, they can't just be created by anyone. This man, like, he's a wonderful craftsman. I've heard great things about Smithson's work, but he's not part of your theurgy, you see. So you may have to anoint him." Like, he seems a little uncertain about that. Like, just make him special.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a god in person?
No, I haven't had the...
So you're saying this is all theoretical?
The practice. The practice is important.
Fair enough. Alright. I can't force him to do anything, but perhaps I can transfer something temporarily? Maybe? What do you think? It
would be better if he was anointed on a more permanent basis. Maybe making him your own...
It's not just...
It isn't...
Everything that's happening is all poignant moments. It has to be poignant. You can't just... put a thing down and say this is important right now and only right now. It's important.
I hate to bring up the Bard, but she has a point where stories, it's important for gods.
Yeah, I noticed.
It is something that is necessary, and it can be.
Wait, anointing, that's when you bless someone to be important, right?
Yes, make him a figure in your church, maybe a well-recognized...
Wait, my church? Stop.
There's like a moment of like, yes, you don't have a church, really, either of you, do you? Because Quentin's with you, of course.
Yeah. He's leading the way.
Yeah.
I'm bringing up the rear. Easy's in the middle.
Do you have a church, Quentin?
I'm like super focused on remembering the way back because it's so convoluted.
Mm-hmm.
So I just blatantly ignore him.
Okay.
Yeah, he does that sometimes. He hears you, just does. He's not listening. Look, we haven't even thought about being a god since. Let's see what time it is. Like the last 28 hours. So no, we don't have a church. But.
Okay.
So you're saying to make him a high priest?
A high priest, master of the forge?
You're saying I can make people into high priests?
It's rather advisable that you do. I mean, who's telling people your story? Except for the Bard, maybe. She's putting everything down. Like,
that just sounds like a lot of responsibility for one person.
For one person, yes, you. You're meant to be the responsible one in this situation. Oh no. As he realizes what he's just said. Oh.
That seems really unfair, but also this is why we need this guy on some sort of council with her.
Look, you're going to be or are a god, all right? So that means that you've got all of the godly, not just powers, but importances. So, like, those you show favour to, they're not just going to be a nice person that you know. Like, that Jim, like, he raises a hand and points towards, like, honestly, he points towards fucking he doesn't know, because he is lost in this place without Quentin. Like, Jim, out there, who is he to you? Hello?
Yeah, but it's just like I'm still super focused.
Yeah.
Jim is a very nice man and has very good indication, very good read on people. Just, you're saying that I'm more... People... I don't know, it just seems like human beings have always been in control of themselves. Right? We get to decide who we're going to be.
What? Look...
Taking that away
You can still give them that option. But Jim has just... He brought Kara here. He brought them to this place. You are visiting the Desits. Do you have any idea how important the Desits are now? They were the top of the totem pole in this place, except for the church, and you have put them back there immediately because you've gone to tea with the Desits. They are now...
Are you saying just the places I go to are important?
Go to where you sleep. The watch house is, like, famous. People are talking about nothing but more. 3 gods are living in the watch house.
God. I say it out loud. I'm like...
Yes,
boy.
You! It's like he's pointing. It's like...
Oh god, oh god, oh god. I'm gonna have a panic attack. Are you telling me that... Not only that I'm not just have powers, but I have the ability to change everything with every single thing that I do?
Look, there is influence that gods have over the world, and then there is the real influence they have over the world. You can make it so my head glows every time I have a smart idea. You could make it...
Don't give him that. Don't be swayed.
He
Need it.
The dimmest fucking bulb in the entire place. No,
Right.
you could make it so that you can make it so that I am superhuman. That I am an incredible follower. And that is something you can do. I could never achieve this. And yet you can wave a hand and bless me with divine intelligence, with future predictions. You could drive me mad. You could... You talk about breaking people's arms in 3 places so much, and you really don't know the extent of what you can do.
I know I could do that.
But that is so little. It's
what
so,
should I be doing?
that is so little compared to what the influence you have on the world by walking around. There is a reason most gods disappear. The Iron General, for all his terrible actions of his cult, imagine if he was in the city. Imagine if you could go and meet him, if you could shake his hand. The person whose hand he shook... he...
I'm starting to get it. Oh my god, I gotta go look for my bathwater. My hair. Oh, she took my hair.
Someone took your... Did the bar take your hair?
Yeah, she took my hair.
The power in your hair. Relics. I'm guessing she said relics, yes?
Yeah, I didn't know, okay? No one... There's no owner's manual to divine power.
I just want him to pull out the fucking Godbound book.
The centuries of scripture right there. There's no owner's manual to divine power.
They're kind of... It's called a Bible.
Oh my god, I have to write a Bible. Do I have to write a Bible? Someone do it. Oh god.
Look, you don't have to personally write it. Most gods...
Easy.
Yes.
Be quiet. I have to think. Just have a few questions.
Yes.
So you're saying I can't annoy people, right?
You can annoy people, but...
I've been feeling that. I'm feeling like I need to change things and garner strength. And when they're talking about me, I feel like I can almost hear it. Because that's second level apotheosis.
Yeah, the third level. Yeah, the prayers. Like, people...
I just don't know what to do.
You need...
I tried asking Wolfgang, and Wolfgang just said, fix things if you have someone power. I'm like, yeah, but I could just break everything by standing there.
You have already broken everything by standing there.
Oh.
The city is in pieces because you've kicked out the church. And all three of you are the gods taking over.
And no one said anything. No one did anything because they were scared and they didn't know what was happening. So they were just hiding and waiting it for it to be over, hoping things would go back to normal. But we never did anything. We told them that they were angry, and so they got angry, so they fought back. But we never took actual control. We kept telling them there's going to be a trial, but that's it. It's almost like they must think we're selfish or something. Because, guardsmen, they've been running around taking care of things, but we've never said it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
Gods are selfish. It's natural.
I don't want to be selfish, Easy. I don't. I want to understand and know better. Okay? Like, I know everyone suffers and conflict happens and people have to be hurt and it just isn't avoidable. People get hurt, they die, they suffer. That's just what they're good at. It's what they're good at as animals, but as people, they're just... I don't know.
It's something as well you change. People are watching you. They are all watching you, waiting.
I wanted to hurt anyone. I just wanted to get married and go to school, maybe.
You are no longer who you were.
I don't even remember who I was. All right. I'll do it easy. I'll annoy someone and I'll find a church. And maybe, just maybe, if I get lucky, I'll make things better.
I want to show the importance of everything. I just want to point this out. So we were at a party last night.
Mm-hmm.
I left with your weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And you were drunk.
Not where anybody could see me.
There's enough presence that people knew that you were drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Enough. There were people outside. They saw you. They guessed how it was, but the impact of seeing a god drunk is already going to be reaching.
I didn't know he was a god until yesterday night. Yesterday night.
It's okay.
It's been less than 18 hours.
It's okay.
And I've been only alive for... It's a lot to take in.
It's
a lot
okay.
to think about. Oh my god, everything I do has consequences now. I used to farm potatoes. Can you believe that?
Yes, surprisingly.
Don't. What? Wait, what? What do you mean?
Nothing.
Okay.
It's okay. It's just I understand that you're confused.
It's ironic because I'm literally a god.
You're almost a god, but
What?
that's not how people will see you.
I guess it doesn't really make a difference then.
You are, in terms of strength, there are much more powerful, much more dangerous things out there than you.
It just felt so right. I don't want to say this, but it felt right hurting people, and it felt like I knew how to do it. And then suddenly conflict and fire and war, it all made sense. Yeah. Everything makes so much sense when I'm fighting. Everything makes sense when I'm looking at anger and conflict, and not just regular conflict, Easy. I want to explain something to you. I want to say something to you, Easy, the human being.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at things, all I see is how it could affect other things, in constant tension with each other. Imagine waves crashing over shore, wind wearing down mountains, or fire consuming wood, or something, or just people shouting at each other, or committing war, or conflict, or aggression, or abuse. That's all that makes sense to me anymore. Things hurting other things.
Then I want to just say, how would it look if a new leader of a small, independent, and quite underprotected city surrounded by people, appeared to be a young, inexperienced, and occasionally drunk girl.
Alright. You made your point.
Just...
I mean, we have the Greek gods in real life, and none of that ever really seemed to stop that.
Right. Anyway, so I'm like,
hey,
right,
they fought all the fucking time, but yeah.
I need to write a book. I need to set down some laws. I need to start a curfew.
Give it time.
Patrols. I can do it all in an hour or easy.
I'd
Alright,
suggest.
let's go find this man. I want to get this over with.
I'd suggest you take your time with it. But yes, so Quentin, around this time, you pull up to the door. Have you just blocked that entire conversation from the back?
It's been going like, you know, when you're focused on like writing an assignment and people are talking in the background.
Yeah.
You can't understand anything they're saying, even though you can perfectly hear them.
Yeah, you hear what they're talking about, but you're not really comprehending it.
Yeah.
Hooray!
I do that sometimes when I'm very, very focused.
Just got Charlie Brown just
Most of the time, I can
in the
hear
background.
anyone perfectly.
Yeah.
But so we come to the door. He's like, "So Quinn, we here?" He misses everything.
Yeah, I believe this is the door.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We all need to talk after this. After we go to take care of Swift's thing, or you guys take care of it. I'm gonna go. We'll need to talk. How bad is it?
God, this is all the same day, isn't it?
We need to go see. We need to go see what Swift wants, and more importantly, how late is he? Like, what term is he at? You wouldn't know, would you? Just leave me to Kara.
Yeah, I open the door into the very dark room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Look at him. I say, stepping inside.
There's a
God of tact, you ain't.
Yeah.
I know, right? That's literally her thing. Is that she just flirts out whatever she's thinking because she's like inexperienced, but not only that, but unstoppable. Unstoppable comes in all flavors.
Literally, that moment you say that, Easy's just like, we just talked about this.
Hey.
It's he's not wrong though, but so yeah, you kind of look over and the sunken, waxy body of the man, like with
let
the
me get my kit.
Yeah,
I say, falling out my medical kit.
He looks like he's almost dead.
Yeah, he looks almost dead, but he's still alive somehow.
And Kara looks like she's about to kill him.
Yeah.
Kara always looks like that in everything.
Fair.
So I come over to him and I start listening to her. Like, this is just odd. He shouldn't.
There's a very strong heartbeat.
He shouldn't be. I'm gonna do my medical check. What stat do you want me to roll?
Do you want to do intelligence or wisdom?
I'll do wisdom with the +4 bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, one second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me with that shit.
How
was it even possible? Oh, I rolled a 2. That's fucking delightful.
And you failed.
Fuck. Hang on.
This guy.
I'll fix this.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, this guy is kind of.
Yeah.
Like.
I'm getting information, but it's all very confusing.
Yeah. There is a strong heartbeat, but it isn't coming from his chest.
This isn't right. He can't be pregnant because the baby would be dead. I say out loud. Because it would be stillborn immediately because there's absolutely no nutrition going anywhere. Yeah, he must not be eating well. I don't understand this. There's no possible way on Earth he could be pregnant. Not only that, because he's a male, but the fetus would immediately die.
There's a little moment, and then the decrepit old man on the bed just goes, "I see that you have brought a genius."
Thanks. You're lovely. I love the personality. Hey, can you see this? I hold up my middle finger to his face.
No. I'm blind.
Exactly. Thank you, smart guy. So, what is the deal here? I say, looking up at Kara, knowing her thing.
Again, she'll shrug.
Thanks. You've been helpful, Quentin.
He did an act that was quite unwise, and now the consequences are bearing fruit.
I mean, look at him. Of course he's unwise. He's pregnant.
He was not the only one.
Oh, God.
Apparently there are more people and they don't know them.
So they're all also what theurgists that are getting pregnant. That's delightful. What are they trying to do exactly?
He claims that they tried to do what we are trying to do.
What?
To
Like
remove those who need removing, of course.
By getting pregnant? Can someone explain this in logical terms? How about you? And I poke down at him, poke him in the nose. What did you do?
He kind of turns his head slightly and like, I do not answer to children.
Oh, bitch, I will choke you until you're unconscious, then do it over and over again.
No, this is what he wants.
Oh, he wants you to kill him, I see. Okay, well, that's hilarious.
You must
really
kill me.
Oh, yeah, we'll get around to that. So, Quentin, what the hell happened here?
Yes.
Thanks for that. You're very helpful.
Anytime.
Someone answer my goddamn questions. Easy, get over.
Easy's not really approaching, and he kind of pauses.
Oh, come on.
I just feel a bit ill.
Easy, can you just tell me one thing? What do you think is going on? What's your theory, Academia Man?
You
He takes
claim to be an expert on these things, do you not?
I study them. I'm not in.
Would you prefer we bring the bard in here?
Yes.
Oh, too bad. Get in.
Don't make me come there. Don't make me come over there, Easy.
He looks like he's actually having quite a bit of trouble getting close, and he's not used to it. The
used
feeling.
To what?
You all can't feel it.
Feel what?
This, and he touches ever so carefully his stomach, and it writhes as he touches it.
Okay, then that was not supposed to happen. He's definitely human, I think. So that's not human. It was done with what, sorcery? You said some theor just got together and got all pregnant with what? What would they make?
I don't know. Demon babies.
I mean, why wouldn't they?
He said.
But still, they want to remove the.
Sorry, you first.
No, you go ahead. You interrupt her, please.
He said he was at least wise enough to keep his daughters away from his equipment.
That's why we were down there getting surgery done. Sure, what's her...
I was just going to give you a long, hollow stare at that one.
Hey, I didn't know. I'm trying. Really hard, actually. So, what's his deal? Why does he want to die?
I don't know.
I'm going to poke him in the nose. Hey, why do you want to die? Because I can grant your wishes if you give me a few questions. Answer my questions, and I'll straight up kill you.
You are meant to be the person to save people.
I suppose. Really unlucky, isn't it?
He turns sightless eyes back towards Kara. This is what you bring to me?
She's incredibly capable.
It's almost art.
All this talk of balance and making things as they should be, and
when instead we could be committing mistakes and then forgetting about them. How wise you are.
I forgot nothing of my mistakes.
Okay, you guys have your little idealism for
this.
I'm gonna go over to easier.
He points a finger over towards Sage
Justice.
and just like,
Justice.
you are
What?
so pathetic.
Well, I like to think I'm getting better.
Nothing but anger, arrogance, dismissal.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to treat you like a human being and, all that stuff.
I'm no longer human. I am
exactly my point. So why would I?
I'm just a mistake.
Why? What'd you do? How'd you become a mistake? People make mistakes. They don't become mistakes. What happened?
You become a mistake by living a life of mistakes.
Wait, what did you say, Hog? I missed that. Again, you need to speak up.
You become a mistake by living a life of mistakes. By not seeing what's in front of you. What seeing is going to happen.
Oh, gosh. Hang on, I move over to him real quick and I check him. Like, is he about to pop?
No, it's though his skin isn't nice to touch.
Not popped like that. I mean, is he about to give birth?
I have a question directly corollary to this that
Yeah.
I've been waiting to ask for a while, in fact. If things in any way seem, in fact, regardless of what they are or aren't doing, I am willing to put the influence and the bloody effort towards just slowing down whatever's going on in there.
He does. It seems like it's... The thing is, it's so difficult to tell. His skin is waxy and fragile as you touch it.
It's hot.
It's he doesn't seem like that's the thing. It's large enough that it looks like he's carrying twins.
This is definitely late term. He should be giving birth soon. Well, which is a sentence I never thought I would say.
I have been bearing this curse. I have been bearing this curse for 5 years. I keep it inside me.
Just please, sir, just answer me one question. I'll do literally anything.
Ask.
Why? Why do any of this?
I was just a person. I just wanted to help. That's such a little laugh. I was like, I got power to drive them out, to drive out the general's men, to drive them back to the sea, boat or not. We all sought power to just bring this to an end, but the things we did to truly get that power, the things we invited into our bodies.
What did you invite into your body?
There's a little moment from Easy in the corner. Just the instrument in your basement that extracts power. And that he lets out a laugh. Like, yes, I see you are a theurgist after all, Easy.
What's going on? I'm curious. What instrument?
It pulls power and gives it to others. It will...
Wait a second. You took divine power from something? What?
Divine is such a kind word for what it is. But oh no, it was much worse than that.
Just tell me, what did you do? What did... Please, just tell it.
We found an artifact. Something with the power of a god. We're not sure where it came from, but it held the power of a god. But we knew if we took it and we put it into ourselves, it would destroy us. So we had to put it in... No.
Someone that could. What?
Yeah, we had to put it into something else. And then we had to divide it. Lessen the power.
What are you talking about? What, you mean you found, like, a body part? An artifact?
An artifact. Just an artifact.
Okay,
it's in the basement.
Oh, shit. Quentin, go get that. Immediately.
Oh,
what does it look like?
It is removed. It is useless now. We drained it of the power, and we knew that it could not be corrupted.
Why'd you do this? I mean, the war was already lost. It's 5 years ago, isn't that?
Then why do you fight? If the war is already lost?
I don't want to. I was in my village. I just was getting married. They killed me, man. And then I woke up and I was angry. And when I was done being angry, I realized that there was a lot more going on than just me.
You're Just a child.
I guess. What did you do? What did you do?
We had
so
to
5 years
make
ago-
sure that it could both be transferred to a human and that it would be uncorrupted. So, we had to put it in an uncorrupted human.
Delightful.
And what is better than uncorrupted human than a child?
Fair enough. Alright, so how many of there are you?
I don't know.
How long has this been going on?
5 years.
And you decided 4 years after you were completely, utterly defeated that you all get together, drain the power of a legendary, godlike artifact, give birth to a bunch of innocent godchildren, and then say, oh yes, just like that's gonna end well.
No.
What?
No.
Then what did you do?
We put it in a child so we would know that it would be part
Purified.
human and pure. And then we did what we had to.
Which was...
We consumed the power.
I did not need to hear that. Hey, Kara,
She's just looking at him.
do you want to do the, honors? We really shouldn't. We really shouldn't. We should not give him what was. We should probably put an end to this, but I have a feeling that the moment we do, he's going to get exactly what he wants one way or the other.
I think a far more fitting punishment would be to leave him here with what he's made.
If you do that, it
Forever.
will grow.
I can see that. It's growing so much. 5 years of pregnancy. Look at the size of it. What is in there? It can't be... I don't know. It's so odd. I don't know what to do.
Remind me what my pregnancy radar got me again.
A healthy child.
we
You
could do
don't
is try-
have a gender.
Wait. They had the thing in the basement. It could draw power from things. We could pull it out of him.
No,
Yeah.
no, oh god, no, says Easy the moment you say that. Like,
What?
It-
We could
it's-
pull it out of him. It would just be a baby.
it
then,
would,
right?
it would, no, like he said, power gets corrupted. And if you
Yeah.
pull power from that, and it's been growing, he's had, first of all, it would most likely be many aspects of power. And second of all, if you pulled it out, where would you put it?
I don't know. One of us.
no.
It
All
would-
of us.
None
No.
of us are doing that. Look at this fool and what he's done to him.
Something
it-
has to be done. Something.
Easy. Would it be
Yes.
possible to build something that uses this corrupt energy in a positive and productive way?
Only if you want to kill everyone. And then make the land
How's that positive
blighted.
and productive?
Kill everyone,
So,
blight the land.
Fire him at the Iron General. Got you. Right, excellent.
There we go. Perfect. That works.
What? Hey.
What?
Who has to bite the bullet on this one, man? We have to pull it out there, pull it out of him, and kill it. We have to kill it inside of him. We have to kill him. What is going on? Who has to die so everyone else might be saved? Who's going to be the suffering in this case? What do you think, Easy?
It's an easy pauses.
You're
Like,
the expert.
what? Me? Look,
You're the expert. You're the theogist. You're the one who wanted to see God spend his entire life studying them. So please, answer the question.
I like the
Who needs-
theory.
Yeah, well, that's well, now you're about to put it into practice. Thank God you went to school. Please help me.
Look, when a god is, at least the god's power is defeated, it disperses safely. So you need to kill it. It's inside him, so it's just as you just need to kill it. It's
What would happen if we let him give birth and we just raised it? What kind of child would it be like?
it's not a child.
Dude, come on. Everything is alive. Just give it a chance. It has not proven anything yet. What is
It's-
it then if it's not a child?
It's power. It's been corrupted. You aim for a, and he's yelling at the man now. It's like you aim for an uncorrupted vessel, and you would kill a child.
So what would it be called? If it were to be birthed and it's not a human, what would we call it?
Give me a second.
A god of some kind? What would it be?
just for the record, I'm actually in favor of killing it, but keeping him alive.
I'm recording.
I know, which is just like that would be the best option, but at the same time, I really don't want that to be part of my damn story, Kara. Quentin over here, he's a great help.
Yeah, no, right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of ways to disperse the energy rather than, straight up kill the guy.
I know, but it doesn't seem like we have much time. If we don't do
only
something
the option.
soon.
Which is why
Yeah,
I
but-
thought perhaps if we pooled all of our gifts and just, you've got protection, haven't you? Couldn't you interpret that?
I could do something, I think. It's just very confusing. It's just
I'm back.
why?
So
I just thought if we put in the effort and bought ourselves some time, we could come up with a more permanent solution.
Well, it seems like everything's being like quick lately. Maybe if you could do something, and then we
Easy's
have
just
together and seal him here, and then maybe we can come back later and hit him a whole bunch of times. Say in his face.
he doesn't flinch. He doesn't care. You think the suffering that you can give him is anything like the suffering he's had already?
Oh, I don't know. I can be very creative.
But yeah. So Easy's just kind of shaking his head. If you seal it here and it keeps growing,
It's even worse. Yeah, and there's no way to remove it without killing everyone. There's no way to do it.
Look, you could remove it and you could destroy it.
All right.
And
but
that would
just letting it exist. What would happen?
it would. You killed a child to achieve this. It is pure primal god energy that has been growing for 5 years with the vengeance of a murdered child. A cannibalized, murdered child.
Okay, can I ask you a question though? Would that make it not a thinking, living person?
I don't know.
Thanks, Easy. You've been a great help.
I can't
Fuck
imagine there
you!
are many field tests for this.
It's alright, Easy. These things aren't meant to be easy.
Just that we could extract this, and if we left it in the container, it would explode and erode the area. Do you know of how much of an area it would affect?
It depends. 5 years, that's a long time. It could have been building up. You say you starved it, and the old man gives a small nod. So that means that it will be weaker than most. But let's say most of the city.
Great.
When you can.
You wouldn't happen to know if there is a map of not the city or the country, but the entire world anywhere?
There's a few around, but what? Look, don't.
Yeah, that corrupted energy would poison the ground, the air, the water, the very reality for the rest of time, probably. It would just be a big pocket of blight, and that would grow inevitably and probably spread.
The cleanest option is wholesale dissolution.
So all we can really do to prevent perhaps the destruction of the world is kill the child or let it live in hope. I just love this responsibility.
It's not a child anymore.
I get that. Easy, thank you. Thank you. Genuinely, thank you. You've been a good help, even though you might not think it. Sir.
I think I've been a fucking wonderful help. Have you seen...
Easy, give me a goddamn second, please. If you need to go pray, I say as I turn back to...
Pray to who? I just shout at you lot instead!
Exactly my point. Mr. Tennant. That was his name, last name Tennant?
Yes, outside.
So, Tennant.
No,
Deceit.
Deceit.
This is Deceit.
Deceit.
Yeah.
Mr. Deceit, I have a couple questions, really. So you've been doing this, what kind of... Are you a sorcerer, then? Because, look, man, you've made a lot of mistakes. You could at least give us a little help. Just a little bit. Just give us some
I
answers.
was nothing but money and backing for the group. They needed a place and people. I had contacts. I had a way. I don't know if others were sorcerers, theurgists. Then...
So, why then? I asked you multiple times, why do this? Why get rid of them? How did they hurt you that you would go to such great lengths to throw them off? Did they just take something you wanted? Did they hurt you? Did they kill someone you loved? What is going on, man? Why would you literally do this to yourself and the world?
I just wanted to save everybody. It's simple. I wanted to be a hero. The big hero.
Well, at least I can learn secondhand how not to do this.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to do, Quentin, Kara? Because I think we should just kill the kid, to be honest.
You see, is this thing living, or like, in order for this thing to keep living, what would it need?
Well, it appears to be draining this man absolutely dry, and he looks like he hasn't got any nourishment at all. As far as Sage is aware, they have absolutely no idea how it's alive, what it is, or what's going on, and he has spent the last 5 years locked up in a dark room by himself, so, yeah, you don't know.
You're gonna have to wait, either it gives birth and you find out, or good luck, Chuck.
And it's very healthy, you said.
Oh, yes.
Thanks, I hate it.
So here's a question out of character. What do you guys exactly want to do as players, and what would you want to do as characters?
I think as a player and as a character, we're pretty much sitting in the same place, and that's to just get rid of the source of what could do a hell of a lot of damage.
As a character, I think Sade wants to let it live because she kind of considers it her responsibility to take care of things like that, or sacrifice herself, or agree to sacrifice part of you guys to make sure the energy doesn't destroy everything. As a player, I really don't mind, honestly. I want to see what happens. I would like to see it give birth, honestly. That'd be neat. But
I was going to ask, I'm assuming this doesn't necessarily feel what would be called natural. Oh, does it? I mean, tell me.
It's... no, it doesn't exactly feel natural. It's almost like the child feels natural, but the area around it, almost like it's got a ambiotic fluid of unnaturalness.
I am choosing to interpret this as it causes damage as a consequence of existing, which is kind of an issue.
Yeah, plus it makes sense. What does Quentin and you think, Pip?
I mean, personally, as a player, I would love to see if we could find a solution to it.
Yeah.
Other than killing it, because, I mean, that would be great.
Yeah, we could have like a weapon or energy source or something. That would be
my initial idea would be to basically just, if possible, drain it, build it up into a battery, and use it to power things and actually do good with it.
Yeah, that would be neat.
I don't want to stop any potential avenues of discussion. I'm just saying, do we want to be a faction which literally uses the power by a forsaken child?
Literally loses the trauma of a dying child parasite.
But
I bet it's more too, just for the shits and giggles.
I'm so glad I provide you with this spicy fucking meatball, and you're all just...
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of you are eating it, some of you are smelling it, and some of you are shoving it directly up your own ass.
How about this? We find a way to probably try all three. We start with like seeing if it would be, then seeing if it was safe, and we already kind of went through it. Like, he can't give birth without incredible risk, and probably will kill him. If he does die, it will probably be unleashed. If it isn't killed, it will kind of destroy everything. If it is separated from its own energy, it would corrupt the entire world. And finally, like maybe the entire world, maybe a larger portion of reality itself. And I'm like, do you want to be the reality where the plague star happened, man? And finally, like, finally, we could just kill it, which seems to be the most expedient option with the biggest backlash.
Yeah, I mean, my character's slowly getting to the point where it's just like, let's just kill it and get it over with.
Yeah, Said's already given up on the chance that, like, this thing's never going to have a normal life, and even if they could protect it and raise it right, there's no guarantee it doesn't come out of the womb just swinging, you know?
I was expecting we'll be forced to make a decision depending on exactly how the births go.
Exactly.
It's all well and good to say, you know, let's give it a chance, but if it like
and
leaps
then, yeah, it just
like
literally leaps at us and starts murdering us individually. And the best thing about it is that either way, any way we do this is all our responsibility. What if we just killed an innocent child, kind of thing? It's gonna weigh on us. And what if we did let it be born and it destroyed most things? Again, like it's not an easy choice. And I love you, Hog, I really do, but.
Again, though, from Kara's perspective, yes, it's a terrible thing, but there are other people to think about.
Exactly.
Just put one life.
Oh yeah. For Kara, I imagine it's not too hard. And for Quentin, who knows what he thinks really. But for Said, it's
turn it into a bird.
Never do this. No.
No, I
So
mean,
this is weighing on my mind.
There's a little.
it's more like for the greater good kind of thing.
Yeah, he definitely has that kind of vibe to him. For Said, it's like she considers like everyone and everyone's feelings and everyone's suffering and everyone's like life important. She just knows that sometimes people die and they suffer and they're in agony and they're in pain, and you know nothing can be avoided. That's the nature of the world. It is full of conflict. You can't go throughout life just being fine.
There's a little pause as I'm guessing you were all having a bit of a conversation over what do we do.
Well, we're not having a conversation. No. We're just looking at each other, trying to decide. Like,
yeah. But there's a bit of a. There may be an option.
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, the power that's been built up over years. That's the corruption, really. And I don't think if you manage to somehow remove all the power, then that would first of all be almost impossible, and you'd have to store it somewhere, and then it would explode. But if you did manage to do it, as we did discuss, that he waves a hand over towards Quentin, we did discuss if there was a permanent way of draining it and putting it somewhere, it would probably kill it in order to drain it fully. So that wouldn't kill it in an essence. But what if... and I just want to make this something to consider. I can't believe I'm saying this, but what if you drained most of it?
Oh.
Bring it down to the soul of a human.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. So let's just take out all the bad stuff and leave just the regular person behind, and hope.
You wouldn't be able to take out all the bad stuff. Like
but we've taken enough that it's no longer like this. Yeah, I get you.
If
we do that, what do you got, Quentin?
If we are, as people say, gods, wouldn't we be able to purify it in some way?
Maybe later after we deal with it. Yeah, definitely.
Maybe in time. The problem being is that if you treat it as God on human, yes, but this is God on God, an angry, parasitic God.
So it's going to fight us no matter what. What would you... Okay, method of extraction. What would you do first? Let it be born, take it out, and then put it somewhere, or take it out now and then... Great, I'm glad you're letting us have this discussion. Just sit there tight.
I have another preference in that if this is an option, we should let it happen and then let the child exact a horrible revenge.
It would kill him to take this child out.
We'll place that as plan B. What would you say, DZ?
It would kill him to take this child out. I mean, look at him. Like, he just gazes over, like,
No, we could definitely keep him alive, I believe.
I'm just looking at my gifts, trying to think of a way to do exactly that.
I bet we could figure something out.
Miracle your way of fertility, I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
I got enough magic to keep, like regrow limbs. I bet I could keep this motherfucker alive.
I just... One of my other concerns about this plan...
Yes. What is that?
So it would take a lot of resources to build this battery.
Mm-hmm.
It would take a lot of resources to keep this individual drained and to use it in this way.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks as if there's more out there.
Yeah, you've got a point. And every time we come across them, it's not like we're always going to have the resources to be able.
No, but if we do presently, we probably should try to do the right thing.
Yes, that's something that seems. Yeah, everyone seems to be missing, especially you. And I point at this, and you sometimes. Context is important. All right. So, what do we need, Easy? What do we need to build a? You're the theory guy. What do you think?
Out of character, would we have to sacrifice that shard for this? Would that help?
It would
Make things
help.
worse? I don't know.
It would help, but honestly, by the time you created this thing, it would your place would already be flying.
Yeah, fair enough.
This isn't something that you would do in a weekend. This is a massive project.
So what would you say, Easy? We need. You know our godly powers by now, I guess.
I would also like to think we can make an argument for some time to do something, because dude's been pregnant for 5 years. He's not going to pop right now unless the plot, are very cruel.
Yeah, you'll just hear
okay.
Okay,
I think I got an idea.
Easy's just kind of rubbing his head. Like, look, to even consider that, I will need some time to work on these blueprints. Blueprints for a god misdraining.
Just relax.
Relax.
Get care on it. Yes, Easy, relax. Because guess what? This is your life now.
You're
going to be stuck with us, and you're going to give us so much advice. You're going to turn gray, and then we're going to give you eternal youth, and you're going to be like, "Oh no, I didn't want this. This is torture," and you're going to have to deal with it.
You've never made suicide so appealing.
You made us aware of how responsible we have to be, and now, well, you're near us, all three of us, all the time.
Right.
I never knew that meeting 3 gods and an attempted god would make suicide such a tempting offer.
It would work. I promise you that.
Yeah, I got your back. Don't worry, you're not gonna die ever. So, Kara, what did you think? What were you saying? I mean, we gotta pull our resources together, guys. We're gonna do this. If we're gonna do this.
Again, this is more out of character than in. Like I said, I'm perfectly happy to give the influence and indeed the dominion to just slowing bullshit down so we can work.
I was trying to provoke you into say something about your bogwitch gift, which apparently has a tree somewhere.
Yeah, but I don't want to ruin a good tree with sticking this in it.
Not a tree. Your tree. We'll see what we can do. And Quentin, I was provoking you to talk about the guards and guarding this entire situation and keeping it the fuck secret with your night word. Now I'm going to personally.
None of us fucking talk about it. Fine.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no one else has talked about this. It's not like, hey, have you heard about old Johnny, the pregnant bastard?
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to lead into that, like saying, okay, guys, Kara, you're going to work with Easy. We're going to figure this out. Quentin, we need you to be our eyes, our ears, our little lips that are locked to make sure no one knows about this in particular. More importantly, keep people's attention away from it. And finally, we need to actually, we just showed up. We got super angry with people and we killed a couple of them. And to be honest, we need to put down some rules and laws and shit like that in general. We need to establish order, I guess, if we have to. We really do, though. And finally, we need to make sure he stays right here, and I don't think he's moving. More importantly, say, Easy, shut the door.
Easy shuts the door. He is on the side of it he doesn't want to be.
Shut the door. Come in and shut the door.
No, he is on the inside. He doesn't want to be on the inside. And he's shutting the door.
All right. One of his daughters is up to some shit. I'm absolutely fucking sure of that. But you need to avoid letting him be in contact with other people. Isn't that right to say? So, what we need to do is start distracting people. To remember everywhere you are, everything you do, everything you breathe, you eat, you drink, everything that you conceivably exist as a state in is now kind of up for grabs, because everyone that sees us, everybody's that think about us, they're kind of affecting us, if you haven't noticed. And maybe, just maybe, everything that we do has importance now. Great, which is just great. I just love that. I just love waking up from an 8-year dirt nap to find out that I'm important. Okay, so, Kara, I want you to work with Easy, figure something out, or Quentin when you need to. I'm going to start going to yell at people and make them understand that this is kind of important and they need to listen to us. I'm sure that Rebellion is going to be great to deal with personally. You know. Anybody else has any suggestions?
What do we tell the daughters?
To stay away. That we have done a treatment that, I don't know, it's going to take time and no one can interrupt it except for the doctor and ourselves.
Very well.
Because we are. What about you, Quentin? Anything?
Not really. All I'm thinking about is we've been holding off this trial for a bit, and we still have the trial, and people are anxious.
Yeah, okay, so what we do, we establish the trial tonight. Get my sword made right easy, and we get this thing in order, and, you know, we start making things happen and making people aware that this isn't just a temporary thing and we're not going to go anywhere, and more importantly, that they don't really have a choice. Well, they have a choice, it's just that it's up to us.
Kara, you notice the smile that Deceit is giving you.
So,
Hey, she can make her own decisions.
okay, Quentin, Kara, we're all going to have to write something down, anything, a code of conduct, a moral understanding, anything. I mean, I'll need to distribute it properly.
Alright, I'm just gonna steal a joke from Dragon Age here, and Kara's just gonna make a sign that says "don't" and hit people with it.
Don't hit people. More importantly, we need to actually act like we have power instead of just have power. We need to take responsibility, I guess. So I'm going to make sure we have a militia and get some weapons together and all that stuff. I got to go reforge my sword. And we'll make the trial tonight. We'll set a date tonight, and we'll have it in a couple days. I get everyone in order. We don't need to sleep, so we can just keep doing everything, making sure things work. Okay?
True.
Yeah.
So we just run around. We keep telling people that things are important, that things are going to change. We let them know. I don't think, to be frank, guys, Kara, you're kind of scary. Quentin, you're kind of weird. I'm going to talk to people. Okay?
The scary weird
At least
one
I
is going
seem
to
human. I mean, look at you, Kara. And look at you, Quentin. Like, do I even need to say anything?
Yeah, the mass of branches and hair where an eyebrow would be shifts like.
Yeah. Besides, more
I don't know what
importantly,
you're talking about.
you're just in a mask and a blue robe
No.
and everything.
No.
Like,
At night.
yeah, fair enough. It just we're not normal anymore. Besides, when people see me, they're terrified. Either way, so at least they'll listen.
Hold on, away.
Well, I'll just chase them down, and then they'll be tired and listening. So, yeah.
Incidentally, I'm assuming this is out of character.
Mm.
None of us have been getting any prayers through the prayer line, have we? Is that a thing?
Not directly. At the moment.
That is like the thing now, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is a thing.
So
We can
what do
hit
you mean
it.
not directly? Do you mean like passively?
It's
Because
more.
we should be able to.
Yeah.
Because we should be able to focus on anyone praying to us at any time.
It's
And
more
it's
like
actually
you've.
established
Yeah, it's not
separate
like.
keywords.
It's more like it's been a few days. No one's really praying to you.
Fair enough, but
Okay.
prayers
I
aren't
would've-
always.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's an old rule in AD&D Dragon Magazine 61
Mm.
that says there's something called the God Call, and it doesn't just have to be about praying.
Mm.
So a moment of desperation can also count.
You can occasionally hear like more your name as if being muttered very far off. Not a full prayer, just like a
Right.
passing name.
Yeah.
But like you
I
can.
am working on the farmers for a reason.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're gonna do? Improving this place, protecting it. More importantly, let know we're there. Justice, Quentin, and the witch, and we'll take care of it. I really wish we didn't have to. Hey, you're a really smart guy, Mr. Deceit. Can you tell me one thing? If all of these gods are being born, like, why? Like, you know other gods are going to be around. Why do this? Like, why bother?
Did we?
Why didn't you just?
Did we
I
know
don't
that
know.
other gods were going to be born?
I don't know. I
You're-
don't know.
Neither did we. We're just humans. We're not you.
Yeah, but now that we're here,
You've
My
shown up
question is-
8 years too late. 8 years in the dirt.
My question is, if that's the case, then how did this all, like, are you related to it in any way? Come on.
Not to ruin the tone again, but every time someone is like that, I'm just thinking, yeah, but did you die though?
All I'm saying is
the answer is kind of yes.
I have no idea why I'm here, and hopefully that maybe one day you'll answer my question and tell me just why. Why am I here? Why are you here? Why are any of us here? No philosophy. I want actual facts. Why? How did it come to be? Do you know? Did it come to be? Or Quentin? What's going on? This doesn't seem like a random occurrence.
Energy. Little parts of the world that have been speckled with the broken shards of the world of gods.
So you're just saying that there's no way even I could understand it, because it's like diving under the ice sheet and waking up a duck. It's just totally inconceivable.
Possibly not. When I say shards, it could be literal.
Excuse me. I think you're right.
I smell it, you know. Which one of you is holding it?
Go look. I can't help it. I glance at Quentin. He can't see.
I smell it.
Yeah, well, that is what it is. We just have to deal with the consequences of our actions now, don't we?
We're here, we are what we are, we do what we can do. It doesn't have to be complicated.
It doesn't even have to be thoughtful. It just has to be now. Alright.
It is very complicated.
A man who makes decisions like you have has no grounds to speak. Be quiet.
Quentin, you think you can stay with him since you can talk to anyone anywhere and come back, whenever you want? And, like, not just stay with him, but routinely check up on him, make sure, we're not getting outplayed here.
That's one thing. But yeah, I can do that.
Alright.
Jerry, ask a quick question here. You would happen to know if, let's say that if I were to be struck in a mortal blow, what would happen to my divine energy?
If you're defeated, it disperses harmlessly. It's one of the little rules, like he waves his fingers a little bit, about divine creatures. It's almost as if it decides that what you don't deserve it anymore. It goes into a bit of overdrive at first, where you almost a fight for your life situation, much like adrenaline does for humans.
A fight situation, yeah.
Yes, so it goes into that, but then if you're fully killed, it would disperse.
Damn it, Dr. Easy, just give us your copy of the rule book already.
I know, right?
and you're saying that this is also the case for that, and I point at the belly.
Maybe. The biggest problem we have here, as well.
We're kind of on almost gods, and that is
no. The biggest problem that we have here is that it's part of a child. And it's not going to be.
Our godly energies aren't part of us.
No. I mean, it's part of something that was once a whole, that was split. So if, say, there are other bits out there and they're somehow still around, killing one might make another stronger.
Yeah, might empower others, yeah.
God's sake, it's turning into Highlander.
Okay. We gotta take care of all these things. We can't sit around talking all day. We've already made a plan of action.
It's reverse Highlander. There should be like 6, please.
Okay, so I looked down and just said, "Look, can you tell us one thing? How many different parts of the child did you eat?"
The magics, they play with my mind. They removed the memories of the people of. I think there were 5 of us. Or 6.
you know the names of these people? Great.
They were removed
You know what
from
they
my
look-
mind. No.
So,
Any
so you
meeting.
literally...
I simply know that they were part of the group.
Okay.
I don't know their names, their faces. They could have been in the
Listen.
church for all I know.
So at the very least, we know there's more than one. Alright. Maybe more than two. If we're lucky. Okay, so... Kara, we need to go talk to Swift. We'll set a date. What time do you guys think? Well, we'll talk as we walk, right, Quentin?
Yeah.
Alright. Thanks, Mr. DeSid. No, it's been a pleasure serving you today. I'll make you leave a note saying thank you. You have a nice one. Easy, you want to get out of here?
He nods, and DeSit says, "Expect a floral bouquet in the mail."
Thank you. You are a lovely person. Or might have been once. Hey, Kara, Quentin, let's get out of here. You can come back later, Quentin, right?
Yeah.
Alright, lead us out. I need to get the fuck out of this room. It smells.
Yeah, but yeah, I lead the way out.
You of all fucking people complaining it smells.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. I think I have the right to say that.
Okay. So, does anyone want to say anything on the way back?
Not really. I have like a bunch of moral questions to ask them, but I don't really have anything important to say.
I would like to ask a single question directed at Justice. You'd be very keen to save the child if it is possible.
I would love to. But it's a kid.
At the same time, are you not against the idea of killing one to save the many?
It's not something
exactly.
to relish, but if necessary, we have to think of everyone.
Think of it like this. Like two sides that go to war. They're fighting over a precious resource. Without it, the country dies. Who's right? Many people die anyway that weren't part of the war. Thousands die, millions die, but at the very end of it, one country is saved. Who was right? I don't know. So I can't say that maybe it does deserve to live or doesn't deserve to live, but like everyone, even us, it can be a casualty of the situation.
But isn't that the same case with justice in and of itself? Justice is created by the strong.
I guess it's just morality, maybe. So society, kind of, yeah. Society decides that who has power and therefore who writes laws. But what's right and wrong, I don't know. It seems more complex. Maybe the world punishes us without even us realizing. Maybe things aren't right because we think they are. Maybe they are actually quite wrong. It's hard to tell. Human beings only have so much understanding, you know? Try to tell a human being, like, imagine something you can't understand. They can't.
But I
think right and wrong is one of those things.
Yeah, but I would still go with the consensus that if we can kill a single entity and save the entire city, that would still be worth it. Might not be ethically correct anything, but
it would be good for the people, society, the world, everything. Yeah.
I
just wouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. And then more importantly, what I guess my problem is that it just wouldn't be very good for it, and we have to make the decision.
Yes, but instead of, so right now what I'm saying is instead of going for something that might work, wouldn't it be better to go with something that is more likely? I mean, understand it right, according to EC, and saying that if we killed this thing, its power would disperse.
Yeah, probably.
We have the power to try, at the least, and if that fails, then we'll do what we need to do.
Everything makes sense when you're looking at it from in the future. When we're looking back at this moment, we'll think about how either stupid or right we were, obviously. We're like, oh yeah, I was such a smart person back then. No. But really, it's hard to tell what is the right decision. We might try to save it and that it grows up to be great and everything works out, but how many times have you done anything that everything just worked out?
You shouldn't let thinking of the past paralyze your decisions for the future. That's not how we should go forward.
That's fair. All I'm saying is that if we were to kill it, we should, every single decision we make from now on, we need to live with the consequences of it. Whether it was right or wrong. All it needs to be is just. Someone has to die.
All I'm saying is we could effectively solve the problem now, and instead of waiting until we have built this machine for
Which might
who
use
knows when.
resources we could use to save other people. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even know when the machine would be done.
What do you guys think? Should we just kill it? I personally, I don't want to. I really don't. I would rather sacrifice a little bit of something to retain a kind of part of humanity that we may have. But if you guys feel it, that we need to kill it, I won't say no.
I don't want to swing in too hard on this. It's all your decisions, but I will say, if you manage to bottle it up, if you do manage to create some kind of drain for this amount of energy, and it turns out that it is somehow functioning, well, and you do manage all the best results ever, somehow through a miracle, which you are entirely capable of doing, you achieve it. The amount of energy you collect could be incredible.
Well, at the same time, you're right, Easy, it could be, but let me tell you something that I guess none of you really know well. No plan anyone has ever made has survived first contact with the enemy.
I'm aware of that. I have met you. But
yeah.
Kara will add, be very helpful. This is why I make no plans.
Thanks, Kara. You're like that person on the internet. It worked for me.
Yeah.
Look, if you want to kill it, Quentin, that's a vote for yes. I vote no. What do you want, Kara?
Oh, great! Put me on the swing vote.
I know, right? Kara, all people.
A thought.
Yeah.
Real quick. So let's say we kill it, we live with the consequences. The energy disperses, and as you said, Easy would most likely go to some of the other parts of this.
Yes, which would make them stronger. But if you bottled them, then it wouldn't make the other parts stronger.
My question is, would it be easier to bottle the energy when it disperses rather than take it from the living, breathing?
No. It almost immediately is destroyed.
I have another question stemming directly from this. So we have a limited amount of. This is mostly out of character. We have X amount of hideous abominations. We kill one. Its energy presumably goes to the others. What state are these other things in? And are we hastening whatever the hell they're reaching towards the end of by killing it as well? We don't have the answers to that. I'm just thinking.
More importantly, if we do kill one and finally get to one left, killing it would solve the problem, wouldn't it? It would it's inevitably you're just knocking down dominoes.
It's more the perspective of we kill something. Supposing it's a moderate to difficult fight now, or whatever. Great, fine.
Yeah, but not just that, but you have to consider, the energy it's dispersing, we're just they took that from something. And once it's all of them destroyed, it probably will go back to whatever it was. Or it will be dispersed in the world naturally, allowing it to grow, which kind of is a good thing, at least from our perspective.
I'm mostly just saying, are we making increasingly harder boss fights by killing it?
Oh yeah, obviously. Hog is not going to take it any other way, and they're going to get more and more deranged and fucked up.
So from that
you don't have to ask that, Prof. Everyone knows
I do have to ask it, because truly from that perspective alone, bottling might be the better idea.
Oh yeah, but I want to fight something. I haven't fought anything.
Definitely going to fight things. Do we have to fight this thing right now?
Can we, though? Can we?
We don't need to be alive for the trial.
Fair enough. Alright, we've literally spent 3 hours just talking about this.
I fucking love it, honestly. You went for tea time.
So decision time. Yes or no? I say no. What is Quentin say?
I vote for save. I say for the greater good.
Okay, so kill it.
God damn it.
What does Kara say?
Alright, what would Kara actually say?
Democracy pantheon now.
Easy will kind of go to Quentin and say, Quentin, now you were asking about, how we could use it. In order to use it, we'd have to have it be alive. So...
Hey, I want my sword today, so I would like this to wrap up.
Yeah, you're saying we need it alive, but do we know how long time it will take to build a machine to extract it, build something to utilize it?
Less than 5 years.
Alright, so if you're if Quentin is voting for murder, I don't see how Kara wouldn't.
Okay. So
I mean,
we
I'm
come back
bringing it on
to
basis that it helps
So-
the city, and I'm all about the city.
So what we would do, set the trial, do the things we're doing tonight, do everything, then come back quietly at 3:33 a.m. and do some god murder.
I'd like to think we're finishing this particular conversation outside that goddamn horror house.
I mean, we're doing this as we're basically
Yeah, leaving.
we're
Okay,
watching
so I'm
how
gonna go-
everything and
So
the
I'm gonna
final.
go grab Smithson and get all my stuff and
Yeah.
say, well, complications I've rose up for my tea buddies. Say, but I'll reschedule you for after the trial. Sorry all this happened. We kind of have a lot of work to do on our hands, and we're trying to take care of it right now.
Melina kind of is giving you a bit of a hopeful look. Is he cured?
There's a strong possibility he may live, but there's also an equal possibility that things won't go well.
Atala seems to get a frown across her brow and like, thank you for attending to him.
We have to. He does have something currently wrong with him, and there is a method. We're thinking of a couple methods to fix this. Every single one of them does risk something. I would prefer Quentin is going to occasionally come back to check on him to make sure he's still healthy. But overall, you need to stay away from him right now. The delicate, let's call them magics, are in the room, and it would be preferable if no other living thing went in there besides us and perhaps Dr. Easy, if he can be persuaded to.
So yeah, they nod slightly, and Atala, looks at the lot of you. I do so hope that you can return soon.
I blood don't.
I hope that we can do something, but it looks like there's a strong possibility that something that he did caused this curse, and it's more powerful than, well, most human beings, most demi-human beings, perhaps even us. So we're gonna try, though. We're definitely going to try.
I'm suddenly wondering if telling her all this is a good idea without setting that workshop on fire.
I know, right? But what can we do, really? Consequences, actions.
Atala does give a little nod towards Kara as well. It's like, Lady Kara, I'm afraid we have not had the chance to make acquaintances yet. I do so hope that you will return in the future. I unfortunately, while I met Lords Dusttail in the party and had the pleasure of vivisecting Lady Lady Justice. Now that's a hell of a sentence, but I'm afraid we have spent little time together today.
No, I suppose we can change that in the future. You can show me your mansion's garden.
I look up at the flower on her head.
Are there any particular flowers you would wish to see there?
Never grows.
I see.
Just gets wreathed in flowers and gore. That's appropriate.
Perhaps a tree may be appropriate. With advice from your guide, Jim, I believe his name was.
Yes, they are goods.
Yes, we have had the goods that we purchased boxed up for you to be sent away, as they would be less necessary here. But yes, Jim has indicated that you are favouring fruit at the current moment. So we shall do our best to obtain some fruit trees.
Don't bother yourself on my account.
I believe that it is an appropriate level of responsibility for our new rulers. We will, take in some occasional fruit trees. It has been known to be more of a fashion lately, though I did not know the reason why.
Glance at Kara.
It's mostly Kara's giving her a sort of vaguely bemused look. She doesn't really do diplomacy and power favors and shit like that.
Hey, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk some more then, perhaps. I know Quentin has to be here, but we really must go.
Tomorrow, wonderful. I shall.
Perhaps tonight, or really at any time we need to check in. I'm sorry. Please stay away from your father. Do not let any of his nurses in. We will make sure he's safe, but the magics are very, very delicate at this moment.
Of course. They trust you entirely, so...
Good, that'll
Right.
make this much easier.
To murder everyone.
Mhm.
So, let's go. Anyway, Hog, I have a question.
Yes.
I want my fucking sword.
I know, okay. Now, okay, so, Easy is going to
Full of me.
advise you
Great.
on what you need.
By the way, I was thinking that we all could have like a mini session with Hog to anoint a specific someone of our choice, I guess.
Gee,
Apparently we
I
need high
wonder
priests.
who I'll pick.
Right? And who will Quentin pick? And who will I pick? It's definitely not a nurse.
Oh, if you all pick fucking Daisy, that would be hilarious.
I get
I
Daisy,
wish
okay?
we
She was
could.
there when I took my hair off. She helped me bathe. She taught me to be a better person. I get Daisy! I'm sorry.
We all know I'm gonna anoint Sinner. I mean, what?
Anyway, I was just thinking that maybe we have a small, like, individual sessions with Hog to, like, actually do that, so we don't have to waste another 4 hours not getting my sword.
I mean, if he's game for that, I'm game for that.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm
fun.
down.
Okay, so I will say, like, on the way back, since you seem to be going on about it, and since Smithson is with you, Smithson does say that he thinks that he could be able to make a fix for the sword, and Easy basically tells you that you need to anoint him in a ritual. Now, the ritual can be of your own design, of course. It has just got to be fitting for either the position he is going to be in, or fitting for the for the kind of god that you are. So you are.
I'm gonna have to, talk to him about that. I better get my sword, Hog. I know how late you stay up. I better get it like today. Sorry. I've been waiting for this for like 4 weeks now.
Does
I
anyone
just imagine Justice pointing at someone, you gives him a thumbs up, and then he's just suddenly
Burst into flames and becomes the ultimate smith.
yeah.
Sounds about right for her.
So what? So while he's riding over, it's like, what would you like the ceremony to be?
Ceremony of rejuvenation, change, that kind of thing. We'll have to talk about it, that's for sure. More importantly, it looks like we're going to do the thing that I didn't want to do, but it looks like I've been decidedly outvoted, so
Well,
we'll take care of that later. So
it's
when
good.
you have time, I want you to be there. I know. But gods individually have priests, but occasionally they have a pantheon.
I am not a priest.
Not only that, but we need a hierophant.
Look, I'm more an elephant than a hierophant, but
Please, Easy, come on.
You're a
don't have to
knowledgeable man.
You don't have to do
Help
anything
us make
special.
good
You don't have to
decisions.
lead it. You just need to be like a saint, I guess. You know that. Plus, we'll give you enough power to actually be a person. Maybe you'll have autonomy. We're not assholes, at least.
Saint Easy, says Smithson, sounding like he's laughing. Shut up, Smithson.
Hey, I'm trying, okay, to be decent. So, look at Kara. Kara's mostly okay, and Quinn is... Look, you can rely on me at least.
Study theurgy, they said. You'll never have to do anything practical, they said.
Look, you're gonna be fine. Really, you're going to be fine, I promise.
Okay.
I hope.
Okay, well, first things first then, we got to get that anointing ceremony down. But yeah, we can discuss that. And is there anything else that you guys wanted to do today?
We have to talk to Swift afterwards and then set the date. Speaking of, we're going to tell everyone tonight that we're setting the date. What date is going to be? How much time do you think we need? Like half a week, a full week? Because we gotta talk to.
Could we even do it like tomorrow?
We need to let them at least gather their people together. So unless we bless everyone with rejuvenation, they're not going to actually get all their witnesses and information.
True.
But we could have, if Hog allows it, have retroactively. I mean, we did tell a lot of people they need to gather their witnesses. It's just that we had like a day at best.
Your big announcement this morning has kind of started the wheels rolling already.
God, that was this morning?
That was... Yeah, it was this morning. Anyway, so what we
Tea
could
time
do is allow a little retroactive grade stuff and say they've already gathered some of their information and we just need to go out and personally get it.
Honestly, that's fine because you've been, the very fact that you said the words trial means that people are starting to, guess that, starting to talk about it because.
And then we go out and talk to each individual person after we might anoint them after the thing or before. I don't know. I definitely need my fucking sword. But more importantly, after that happens, I mean, like during the night, we need to write down our religion, our creed, or moral codes, or ethics, everything, like actual bind it magically or whatever in a fucking book and all that nonsense or whatever we want to do, or like Kara, just write it on the back of everyone's skin and fucking scars.
That can get done later though. And so
no, we already wrote up everything for our religions, right? I know I did.
Yeah, I did. I wrote up something anyway.
Yeah. But
so what we need to do is start distributing that knowledge and let people know that this is no joke. We're gods and we're doing this thing, so we can start establishing the church. Because there's one huge problem we have. You know how much wealth it costs to make a church anointed to any god?
A lot.
Wealth equal to their level. And this is non-negotiable. You can't just like summon wealth into the air and like, oh, this will work. No, you have to. The church has to genuinely spend money to anoint their god. Now, I was thinking that maybe Hog could like combine our level all our together and make one big church for us.
We'll see.
It's probably gonna happen anyway. But more importantly, that's gonna cost a lot of money if we keep leveling up before we do it.
That's an anointed thing though, like to anoint the church. Churches can still crop up.
Yeah. Not only that, they can be small shrines.
We need money to sanctify them.
Yeah, sanctify. Okay, so but if you want the sword, you're gonna have to try and do the ceremony tonight. So
I'll do it in the next 5 minutes if I have to.
easy is like, right, if you're going to go speak with a gang leader, and he seems really confused about this remote.
I want to do it today. In like 5 minutes, really.
Well, we can go get ready. We can get a few things. Smithson, we need some robes. And he's like, I'll get some stuff ready. If I'm your, I don't know, then I'll start things going. You go do the stuff that you need to, the three of you, and my place would be bad. Where's somewhere important? The guild. We'll do it in the guild. They've got a great big furnace.
We'll do it. Yeah, sure. Why not? Actually, we don't need a furnace. Don't worry about it. What we're going to do, we're just going to go towards the burnt-out church and do it there. Okay.
Okay.
We'll get everything set up. I'll summon some guards if I need to help carry everything. In fact, there should be about 12 running around right now.
Okay, what colors do you like?
Black and white.
Black and white.
Just kidding. Red and green.
I think I prefer the black and... Okay,
Fine. If we must, if I must choose a holy freaking color this very second, shades of gray that end up in purple at the very end. You know what I mean?
You want the sword now. You start making these decisions soon, Missy.
Yes. Okay. Fine. Okay. Shades of black and gray, like not fully white, that slowly fade into purple. Okay.
Purple.
Like bruised. Beautiful one.
Yeah, you could look. You can look good in purple. He says, "Look at Smith," and Smithson's like nods and like. My wife's always said that. And he rubs his chin a little. I'll just call my wife and tell her that I'm going to be anointed.
Preferably in all our churches, Master Smith.
I might need some more robes for that.
We'll get a color set down for our pantheon.
He does turn to Quentin like, you want me to be anointed in your church?
I mean, I don't have anything against it, so.
Nice. And, Miss, you want me anointed in your church?
Out of character. What the hell does this actually mean?
Fucking nothing.
It's kind of like nothing. Basically, there's a specific skill we could give them, but otherwise, it's more of diegetic lore and more of like a mechanical functionality. So we know there's a pin there that says, "Hey, this guy was anointed," and just in case we need to give him superpowers. More importantly, he could make stuff with us to make artifacts, and artifacts are kind of great.
Yeah.
It's just we make him a quote-unquote follower.
Right.
Not just that, but we give him a specific place of power, like Master of Arms, Master of the Furnace, Master of the Forge, or something like that, to let people know that, no, we are not fucking around, we have weapons.
Also, by designating him as important, you are basically giving him a little bit of influence. But
Not only that, but
yeah.
we're also making sure that the influence who we give it to is given to a competent person, unlike Easy.
Also,
So what I was thinking was that Easy would be like, I don't know, like the advisor to the gods kind of thing. We got the Master Smith to here, but then we both, all of us, take a personal person, hold them aside, and say, "Hey, would you like to worship us?"
he does kind of nod to Kara and be like, "You don't really look like you use my kind of wares."
No. I'm sure you're a valuable man to have around, but I think perhaps the circles we operate in are too different.
Understandable, miss.
You have my respect, though.
Thank you, miss. And he does look down like, if you want your hoop... Oh, you don't have hooves. Sorry, I thought with the antlers...
I should have hooves.
She turns around like, "I should have hooves." So then instantly hooves for him.
Yeah. Like, I'm glad you like my idea, miss. I could make you a pair.
Yes. Do that.
Alright,
Dark
miss.
harness. Later.
But finish Justice's sword first.
Of course, miss.
Or I think she might actually eat you.
I won't eat anyone today. In fact, I don't think I ever would eat anyone later. But I will literally bifurcate someone with my bare hand.
Rather than with a sword, so chop chop, get her armed.
Right?
Well,
Thank you.
We'll start it later, miss, after the ceremony.
Yeah, okay, old church. Get all the equipment there. I gotta apparently beat someone up or something. I don't know.
Mr. Quinton, what colours would you like with my robes to be?
Oh, God. I don't know. Pick the
Fluid
one you think's
teal.
best.
What was that, sorry?
Pick the ones you think suits me best.
I'm
I
not really
wonder
sure.
what colors.
I'm not really sure I can make much of a judgment, so.
Can you have your wife do it then?
Oh, she'd like that. She likes.
Susan no colors.
Oh, she likes that.
That'd be great.
Oh, thank you,
I
sir.
have to say, I do immensely enjoy how unflappable this man is.
I know, right? It's like he just doesn't care. It's like he gives no shit,
Imagine how much better the world would be if everyone was like Smithson.
right? And how boring it would be.
Thank you very much, sir.
Isn't that always a compromise? Anyway, so yeah, that was good session, right?
Yep, I think we should stop here, and then you guys can go and see Switch next time.
Right.
No, I get my sword today.
Don't
I don't care what you say. We're going to come back to this in about 10 minutes.
worry, I've got it all plotted out. You'll like it.
Yeah, in 10 minutes.
No, I've got it plotted out. You don't get it till you get it.
I will come for you.
Come to
I've been
Britain.
waiting. I've been literally waiting nearly a month now. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Not that I'm complaining about long form sessions and things spiraling out of expectations at all, because I'm really not. But it is kind of funny to think I really thought the trial would have been like 3 sessions ago.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I am not complaining at all.
I really want my sword though. Like I don't mind that things are being slow, but I will come. I've been so. I can't even explain how important this has been to me. Like, this is gonna be the week.
How many fucking sessions ago?
Then we play the entire session, and I don't get my freaking weapon.
How many freaking sessions ago was we want to make this city flying? Yeah. And
It was
yeah.
about 5 or 6. It was the third session. It was the third session where we're gonna do that. Not only that, and it's not the 8th, by the way. Not only that, but I freaking guarantee you, every time I came here, I thought, oh, I'm gonna get my sword. I can't wait to get it. Then like 3 hours later, oh, I guess it'll be next session. Oh, I'm gonna get my sword. I can't wait.
Hey,
I guess it'll be next session.
you guys decided to spend 2 and a bit hours talking of the morality of killing this man.
Hey,
You're
you
the one who
decided to
forced us to
respond.
confront it, so blame yourself.
You have control. I can't make you talk.
I just talk to the bullshit. And you guys paused and had a 2.5 conversation over the morality of killing a man who literally suggested he ate a child.
He didn't suggest nothing. He told us.
Yeah, like, I ate a child. What's the moral thing to do here? It's like.
I thought it was like, it's less the morality and more the, I don't want to make things worse.
I know, right?
No, okay.
That's exactly how we all felt.
That would be extremely messy and upsetting.
Okay, I gave you, I get it. I gave you a time bomb, and like I get it that you guys are all sitting there going, "What do I do?"
We're not upset. We're very excited. I'm upset because I still haven't got my sword.
I have your sword planned out.
Yeah.
I hope. The thing is, it's it's cool, but I really wonder if you're gonna go, "Oh, this is disappointing," after you pick it up.
Oh, no. I will never be disappointed by a gift. More importantly, by a curse.
No, dear.
Anyway, so I would like to point out something. We could probably split up maybe even like a timey-wimey thing where we just this happens later after the meeting. Anyway, I just want to get it done this week.
Okay, let's do does everyone want to do the anointing now?
Not now, but each one of us does a different thing,
Yeah, we could do the anointing now if you want, like the you doing him kind of thing.
No, I meant we each take an hour over the course of the week to each get it to you. Because what seems to be happening is that everyone tries to do a thing.
Yeah.
Instead of everyone doing a thing together, so why don't we just split it up so we don't get bogged down next week with another 3 hours of us trying to do things individually.
To be fair, this was everyone trying to do the one thing, and then tea time turned into fucking.
Well, we're pretty much setting precedents how we're gonna handle killing children. So
I contend that it's not necessarily. It's clearly not a regular child in any measure. I mean, 5 years.
Yeah, but you still had to say the word child.
I actually did not use that word. Someone else did, and I don't remember who it is, but it's their fault.
Okay.
Yeah, just blame me.
Anyway, I think that would be fun. Maybe I don't know. I got time on Wednesday, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, next week,
Wednesday, you're meant to be running for me, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, but that way I can do it beforehand. Oh yeah, we're about to start, so give me my sword. But anyway, but I was thinking that it doesn't have to be you know how you can do things and be competent about them. Well, I was thinking we could roleplay in a competent way by having done things in the future, then come back to the past and.
Yeah. It's a.
So we just do all those things in the future, have everything done, get my fucking sword.
No,
come back to the past. We haven't yet. Then talk to Swift.
We'll give it a shot. Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording now.
All right, bye-bye.
Unless anyone else wants to say anything before
I have one thing to say.
Yes.
Fuck.
Okay. Thank you.
Fuck this. Go fuck yourself. God damn.
Pip. Anything to add?
Nope. Only that.
About right.
Pip.
Sorry.
We didn't hear that last bit.
I mean, the only thing I want to say is I need 6 more Dominion.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Speaking. What?
Okay.
Dominion and waffles?
Yeah. You're gonna have 1 XP, but 2 Dominion for this. You didn't, again, not much use of powers or anything in this one, but you had some godly talks.
Fair enough.
You had a lot
we really got to our godly comms, actually. We talked about our godly comms. Does that happen?
So,
probably good. Actually, I mean, Kara still doesn't believe it, frankly, but fair.
Okay. Here's actually here, and that's the thing. You can each have 1 extra Dominion because you've started to approach being actually a god.
So we are at a total of 16 Dominion.
So you're so Kara is like that guy from one of the Knights of the Cross from the Dresden Files. He's like, I'm an agnostic. How can you be agnostic and a paladin of Jesus? Well, you could be an alien.
So amazing.
It doesn't have to be what you think it is. It's just you perceive it that way. Angels could be anything. God could be anything. That's how I think Kara approaches it. I don't know what I am. People say it's a god, but that's all they understand.
I haven't hammered out all the. Sorry, you first.
Yeah.
I'm not done.
Oh, I thought someone was trying to speak and I spoke over them.
Nah.
What was that? Yeah, I haven't knocked out all the details of her tribe, but I'm thinking very much a sort of totemic animism thing. So it's well, yeah, the gods are over there. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, not a real big deal. Animals, though. Yeah, yeah, that antlers. See them?
Okay. Everyone say goodbye again.
Bye bye. Love you.